are online. On the line.
All right, so I'm gonna get a head start on Landon while he's not paying attention.
That actually doesn't matter because of the way I track time.
Oh, hold up. Is it there? It wasn't there yesterday. I did like one playthrough practice yesterday. Is this
It should be there.
is this new?
When did I put that up? I guess we'll see. Like, make sure you do like a good refresh so you're loading like the new one. But I assume you are.
No way to know.
No, there's no way to know until we get to the very end of the game.
Well, okay, so we got no one in. Let's futz around for a bit. Oh, okay, cool. Actually, so don't start, but I'm gonna show something off that I think you probably have to know about.
Okay.
But I'm gonna let's. I doubt you've fixed it. Oh no, I'm gonna die before I can show you.
I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. I want to show you one of my favorite bugs in the game.
Bugs in this game?
Yeah, like the one above. That's my favorite bug.
Thanks. That's my favorite too.
I hate that fucking bug. Honestly. Okay, watch this.
That is amazing.
So there's just a snake floating in the middle of the sky. Favorite bug of the game, which I discovered with my strategy of. Oh, and do you know this one? Let's see if you fix this. So I'm gonna teach everybody a glitch that I don't think anybody's in here yet anyway, but glitch in Landon's game. Not even a glitch. This is a hack, and this is a very useful hack actually. I'm gonna throw this out there. This is a speed running hack, and I'll give you a comparable. Okay. In Zelda 2. And in fact, many old Nintendo games, there was a built-in thing where you could automatically reset the game if you pressed up and start on the second controller. Right. And this was probably built for like testing purposes. Mm-hmm. And it's important for like speedrunnings in games like Zelda, where they're an open map, a Metroidvania-like game where you go all over. You'd basically go, instead of getting out of where I am currently, it would be nicer for me to just immediately start back at the beginning. So, like they'll get to a castle. Oh, is this a secret I didn't know about?
I haven't tried this since because I changed how high rush can like hit you a few times just to make sure you could like get to things I wanted you to, and I never came back and checked that ladder.
All right, but anyway, so the hack is that Landon built in that's kind of useful is this K button. You press K, you immediately die.
Right.
Which can be very useful. As an example, like at the end of the game, if you're really just out of supplies, and this is built in the Mega Man, so this isn't like a flaw Landon did. We're going to be discussing Landon's not a mod of Mega, which is impressive. I have a lot to say about that because this plays like an amazing mod of Mega Man, but this is not a mod.
Right. Yeah. I didn't mod any existing Mega Man code or game,
which is amazing.
Take the graphics.
Okay, but so if you look here, I have two lives basically. I have one, but the way like old Nintendo games work, one means my current life, and when I'm out of that life, I'm at 0. Mm-hmm. But a useful thing to do with the K button is you can just press it repeatedly, and you'll see this like. Mm-hmm.
It looks very cool.
Looks very cool, but that's going to take all my lives. So right, if at any point I want to just get back to stage select from any level, you can literally just spam K, which is useful. And apparently you knew about it because you know everything.
I did know about that, and that is like the K is something I put in like surprisingly late in development when I was testing the checkpoints. I think I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
Should we give a brief overview? Basically, this is Mega Man Secret, which looks like a Mega Man game.
Here, let me restart the game so people can see the intro. But yeah, go ahead and keep talking.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep talking, and you can show the intro of the game, and How do you restart the game?
You have to refresh. I didn't put anything in.
All right, cool. I didn't know. I mean, that's fair. I mean, that would be like old school Nintendo, right? You'd have to hit reset. That's in line with everything. Okay, so essentially, Landon and myself had a competition on this channel. I used the word competition liberally because it was a slaughter, where we played the original 6 Metroid games on the Nintendo Famicom. I just said Metroid.
You make that mistake.
I do that a
lot.
I know. They
making some people angry. Yeah.
What people?
Not me. That's for sure.
Not you.
Other people.
You're one of the other. I can narrow this down by process of elimination because there's only like 5 or 6 people on this channel that watch. Is it you? No. Was it you? No. Anyway, okay. So we played the original. Well, we played both, right? We played both the original Metroid and the original Mega Man games, kind of in competition against each other.
We did.
Metroid was an unknown competition to you, but I won. Which is how I win. That's the only way I win is if I sneak attack you. We played the original Mega Mans. We raced against each other. You won by 5-1, though, like if I want to save my pride, it was, close point margin. But in secret, appropriately named, you were building your own Mega Man game. And this is really important because this actually relates to the original Mega Mans. The original Mega Mans, essentially, they built a Mega Man engine for Mega Man 1 and really modified it, literally, for Mega Man's 2 through 6, and that's why a lot of the same bugs and glitches and hacks that you can use in 1, you can use in 6.
Right.
I'll take it, El Mariachi. You should be getting odds, though. I would say I would bet against me as a neutral party. But yeah, so those were really mods. Like basically, they would take the existing code and update it, and that's why like later Mega Man games like ran slow because they're like running old Nintendo code with much more stuff on it on the same processor, and getting 6 games is unheard of. But you made a Mega Man game from scratch mostly. Now of course you had to, I don't want to say you borrowed, or however you want to say from the internet. There are sprites, sounds, etc. that you were able to grab, but I still remain like impressed by that because I've got a question here. Let's look at the intro, right? So you've got this animation of text coming up in Mega Man.
Right.
You use the Godot engine to do this. Yes, I am aware I am sleepy listening to this too, Mega Man. You're right. I use the Godot engine. Like, how hard is it to make actually like an animation sequence like that? Of like the sprites moving, the text going across, the music coming in?
That's super easy in Godot. Like it's drag and drop.
But that still has to take a little bit of time, right?
Well,
you still have to...
The time-consuming part for me was actually getting all the graphics together, putting them, like there's not like file format. It's all just like PNGs. Like there's not really requirements there. But just because a lot of the art that is out there that people have ripped from the game are still in like tile form, and you have to kind of put those together in different ways. The Mega Man community did a really good job of like making these things available on like these big sprite sheets, but you still have to like cut them out, put them into their own sprite sheet that you can then load into Godot that expects like uniform frames and things like that. So it's not difficult, but it's kind of time consuming.
Well, I mean, that's like animation in general, right? Like, or stop motion's a good example, where you have like a piece of clay or something, and you like, or action figures. You could like take clips of action figures and move and make a video, and the time-consuming part is actually like set, stop, do it again, set, stop, do it again.
Yeah.
Repeat.
And I will say that the tools that Godot has available in the Godot like IDE and SDK and everything like are really good. They made all that like as easy as you can expect on their end. So like I will get like I'm still learning it and everything, but I will give praise to the Godot engine. I think they did a really nice job, and the things I needed to do to make this game were all really easy and easy to figure out how to do.
I do have a question. At what point did you start? So in our 2TV gaming Genesis, when did you start? Because we did some. Let's see. I'm trying to recall. Did we start straight with Mega Man? We did our class project. We programmed an initial Wordle engine, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I actually have like a much better one it's actually live on the net. We'll do the same exclusive you did. So, but the UI needs some work. If anybody wants to cheat at Wordle, let's see, is it modern Wordle openings? I think I'll put the link in the chat. But yeah, what point did you decide?
So
hey, I want to make my own Mega Man game.
I started making this when we were playing Mega Man 3, which is like halfway through the Mega Mans, but also we spent a lot of time before getting to 3. So like, I mean, we spent a lot of time practicing 3, right? Like that was 2 or 3 weeks between 2 and 3, I think.
Oh yeah, because we had like holidays and stuff.
Yeah, there were things going on.
And you were like, what's easy in the middle of holiday time with all the family and travel is writing video games.
Well, I thought I would have more time like in December. So a little more of a timeline, I guess, since we're on the subject. I started on 3. At that point, I'd beaten you at Mega Man 1, I think, and then you beat me at Mega Man 2, so we were at a tie. I was pretty sure I was going to win 3 just because I had like a lot of free time during that one, and I just practiced it a whole bunch.
And actually, that's a nice funny combo. Is that was like when I had the least amount of time, and what I was doing for those at the time was playing them on like a Windows. I mean, I did that regardless, but I have like a Windows mod, and then I did eventually switch over to the Switch, and then eventually get like real controllers and stuff. So like, I would say 4 is when I like practiced, and that was just embarrassing. And like 5, and I think 5 wasn't as great, and then 6 I practiced a lot too. So the ones I practiced, I did closer, but yeah.
Yeah, and I remember like, anyway, yeah, we could recap that whole thing at some point. But anyway, so because it was taking so long, and because we were heading into the end of the year with like, holidays and stuff coming up, I thought it was going to take us longer to get through the Mega Man games than it did. But we kind of like that's when we, after 3, we really got pretty consistent about streaming every week or every other week.
Every 2.
Yeah, and then also we kind of got through them a lot quicker than I expected. So I didn't have much time to finish this, and then after like over Christmas break, I didn't work on this as much as I had expected. And so anyway, like we did a really good job of streaming more, and I just did a
well. We also got better. I mean, that was what was funny. Yeah. Working on the for free work with no payoff, because I've had this observation with people before too. Like we're both software developers. And as an example, one thing I have done for fun in the past and still do for fun is write tools for basketball analytics. But that's gone down in recent years, and we recap some of the kids stuff. And while we're kind of like chatting, I'm gonna at least stream. I'm gonna show my favorite bug of the game that I showed you before.
Yeah, and I have a theory of why this does.
I mean, it makes complete sense why it happens, but it's just hilarious. So as you can see, there's this snake that's just floating in the air. And actually, I'm curious, does it respawn? Is it going to come back? Yeah, he's just going to stay over there. That's cool. But,
yeah, he's
and we're going to talk
stuff
like this, like why things like this happen and whatever. But anyway, so we're both software developers, but there's also like a limit. Like you do it during the day for a job, and then you come home. And I found, like for me, early in my software development career kind of used basketball statistics as like a training ground for how to do, SQL queries and web-based stuff. And then I got better at those and then started getting jobs doing that. And then I was like, I don't want to do this. So, I mean, I can see that where you're like, hey, it's Christmas time and I've got some break time away from work as a software developer. What should I do?
Yeah. But yeah, so this whole
not
thing.
The bug, the hack of restarting. Just press K for a while. You can have a fun little old 90s animation.
Yeah.
And that's a quick way to get back to the start screen if you want.
Yeah, so it took me, I think, about 6-ish months start to finish. And yeah, I would still like to do a stream just like on the development. I can like show you kind of what the progress is like, because I got it only took me like 1 or 2 weeks before I had what looked like a Mega Man game.
Let's say this: this game is much. I mean, like the later Mega Mans, which even got a little more complicated. And I noted last week, like the Dr. Wily portions of Mega Man are some of the most hilarious, where it's like 4 levels to get to the castle, and then you beat the first castle, and then you beat the second castle. And I was like, it took like over an hour to get to the Dr. Light spoilers Dr. Wily phase of the game. Very good thing. So why don't we actually just go through, because I think this will take like 30 to 45 minutes to get through, and we might just have time at the end. So
all right, so the people watching,
I don't want to do that. I do not want to start with Jupiter Man unless you really nerfed him. Jupiter Man's a hard one to start.
No, I didn't change the gameplay as much as I could. I fixed some bugs, but it should be what you expect.
Please don't fix the snake bug. I love that.
So Dre has challenged me to a race, much like the previous Mega Man games, which was sort of my idea. Because like I said, I started this during Mega Man 3. I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we ended on a tie? And then there was like this secret bonus Mega Man game we could play, And so that was kind of my thought process on like why I did this. And also I thought it'd be fun, and It was. But hang on, I'm just realized I'm missing part of your screen here. I'll try to grab that.
I can see my whole screen on yours, but I don't know if it's missing a little at the top.
There's that little white line at the bottom. Can't
oh, you're right.
Can't miss anything, right?
Yeah, depending on how we're doing race time or at certain parts, potentially saying, "Hey, wait a second to show a thing," I might show some comments or whatever. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't stop the timer for you, so.
Well, I don't care, but I'm saying the between. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, well, let's do it. Let's do this for real. Then maybe we'll do it at the end, or I'll comment as it's going through, or if I'm really getting hosed, I'll just start doing that.
All right, yeah. I was thinking like I should have planned like a whole like WrestleMania style interview, or like taunting you and like he's challenging me to my own game, like he doesn't even deserve, like I don't know, but I got.
I don't. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, well, let's give an observation. We've kind of noted this before. It's amusing. We taught college, and I was a bad college student. You were a better college student. And you just tell me when to go, and we can go.
I'll let you say when to start. Like I said, for people watching, this game.
Set, go. Oh no, too slow.
I put a timer in it. So.
Oh, I was gonna say you shouldn't spoil it. There is something cool at the end of the game. What could it be? Allegedly.
But since I already mentioned the timer, it's not gonna count the timing like when it's paused or cutscenes or whatever.
Which actually, so. I'll say this to people in the future who might be watching this stream to learn how to speedrun, because that's what I was about to comment on, is like that is useful information, because I would argue that if you're trying to game the timer, you might want to take advantage of the fact that like rush is really useful, and you're not going to get dinged for pausing the menu to get to rush.
Right.
Versus other things. What I was going to say is, like, college wasn't a great student, but then as I've gotten older, like learning how to study and things like ChatGPT, ironically, I've been having like a weird, not even existential, but just like a discussion with people about it. It's all the rage, especially if you're in code, people bring it up, is back in the day, like this is 2008, I used to recall something I would hate about Google is the way the Google algorithm works is it basically uses like peer review. It looks for things that are commonly referenced or linked and ranks those higher in its algorithm. Oh, that was a real fine clip there. I got greedy. I should have used Rush, but then there's a trap there. Anyway, but that's actually a problem in code because it gets ironic, right? Where like version 1 is the most popular. So, you'll find a Stack Overflow article from 2001 instead of like the more recent article on like the way to do it in version 3 or something. So, I've argued just for years, like the way Google does search for code is bad. Now, if you're an experienced coder, you know how to do things like put filters, etc. on to make sure it finds the correct thing. But that's still like, that's not the default. And so I've argued that ChatGPT just does a lot of that for you, where, it does just a better search to find, oh, what the heck is this? He's just on the other side. Cool. Which is fine. But like a lot of what I've started doing as I get older is like homework. And so, for instance, in Mega Man, when, you're boning up on that to learn how to do a race or whatever against your friend, the things that are important is, what things are weak to what weapon and what patterns oh my God, I get stomped already at the first boss. And what what patterns to look out for, et cetera, et cetera.
It's going to be
humiliating.
Zor Tanks once again got hit by the auto moderator. Every time.
This is Landon being a jerk.
Being a jerk.
With the hey, what if you try and jump over this thing and stuff is just there. Oh yeah, this is one thing you talked about, and I just want to bring up before I forget. Something cool about this compared to a lot of old Nintendo games. Oh, and by the way, I'll wrap up the thought. Studying, and so you can study for the Mega Man games. This I can't really study for, right? You know the patterns because you built it. It's not like I can go to GameFAQs and it'll say, oh, by the way, Crush Man, jumps up in the air once, then jumps down, then jumps up, and so if you do this, you have like an impressively good memory for just watching that. Like, I remember when we did Mega Man 1, there's this boss, pretty much renowned as the most evil boss in the Mega Man games. It's like monster that takes itself apart and puts itself back together repeatedly.
The Yellow Devil.
Yeah, and I mean, that's appropriately named if ever there was one. And you basically said in between week 1 and week 2. So week 1, when we started, I can see why you thought it would take a while. When we started and did Mega Man 1, we took forever. Took a couple weeks. And when we finally started getting to the Wily stages, you were just like, oh yeah, I just like watched the Yellow Devil. I just thought about it.
I just like had a dream.
And I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, this sounds freaking like Good Will Hunting. Like, excuse me, we played that game last week. You didn't go watch YouTube, and I want to verify that's true, right? You just played the Yellow Devil, thought about the pattern, and the next week knew how to beat the pattern.
Yeah, well, I watched the video on it, right? Like.
Okay, so you did watch it at least.
Yeah, because that was what we did, right? We watched the playthrough instead of practicing that one, and it was a good playthrough.
Yeah. So I like Cleopatra Man best as the first. The only one rough part I'll give as an observation is that there aren't a lot of enemies in Cleopatra Man level. The kind of the big secret, and Zort didn't give Zortanks the you are a whole boss up on me, and you actually.
I'm sorry, was I supposed to be holding back?
You know, it's like parents, right, with kids. And I will say this game, really the first boss is the roughest one, because you are pretty unforgiving with the damage just the normal blaster gives to a boss, but then the weaknesses are pretty good. Oh, and you did the boulder without doing the skip for real, which is cool. Which I can verify can be done, but I was just going to say that it is a little rough. Like, it is a tough one. We've discussed this. We're not sure if, like, the bounding boxes are a little rougher around web. But you're playing web as well, right?
I'm playing on the web, yeah, trying to make it even.
So
there could still be differences, because who knows why. But it seems fairly the same. I don't know.
Yeah, so I'm going to steal an anecdote from a college professor of ours, where he was saying one of his colleagues, I don't know if he was talking about himself, my friend said, but he said that he claimed a friend did this, where he said a friend of his was really enamored with a researcher and was liked their research so much that they decided to send him a letter and showed some of their friends before they sent it out.
Just a pro tip, when you get to Jupiter Man's mid-boss, use Sharp Man's weapon on it if you have it.
Mid-boss?
The helmet hover cannon. But if you don't, then, just shoot him as normal, I guess.
I'm just gonna die here. I was gonna say, but yeah, anyway, so what he said is, he got really enamored with this researcher, and was like, oh, their research is so good, so awesome, I'm going to send him a letter. And showed the friends a letter, and the friends were like, holy cow, this letter reads like you hate them. Because,
cool trick. Oh crap, that thing's in the way, no! Tried to show how to use Rush to get off there, but the other platform was in the way.
Oh yeah, I've actually done exactly what you're saying too. Tried to be clever with Rush. But anyway, so it's like, I'm gonna send this researcher a letter because they're so cool. I'm gonna send them a letter to tell them how cool they are. And their friends are like, what the hell is that? It sounds like you hate him. And the reason being, they were so enamored with the research, they were asking questions like, oh, you did this, why didn't you do this? Or you this and this and this, why didn't you do this here? Had you thought about this? And so as we start discussing your game, it's probably going to sound the same, because I'm about to make a comment in front of that, and one Mega Man thing that your game is kind of missing, and I've argued this level kind of shows the weakness of it, is you really need a vertical weapon. You have enough hover enemies that there is never a point in the game where you gain a weapon. Yeah, RixterGT. That was his nickname in college. It was really weird that we gave him that nickname, because we didn't even know
so
about
random.
we were like, Chat GPT, we were like, Cheater GPT, and you're like, what does that even mean? And I was like, look it up.
We'll find
You're
out
like,
someday.
Of course, I know. I mean, like, especially he's like, oh yeah, you just watch a video and like think about how to beat the boss, and that's how you beat it. I'm like, excuse me, what? But yeah, exactly. Like, I'm really impressed with this game, but then of course we spent so much time beating the first Mega Man games that like when I'm like, you should have done this. Did you think about this? You know how these Mega Man games do this, but you didn't.
Right.
It's like.
Well, I would like to talk more about that actually because that's
I just did the same thing you did, by the way.
nice. Because this game is missing some like Mega Man standards, right?
And missing some mega stuff.
Some mega stuff.
Because you rushed to finish it.
Oh my god.
Might be too wily for it.
Oh, it's not letting up.
Hey, Landon. Hey, Landon.
Yeah.
Lighten up.
I'm just gonna roll with it.
Well, you are a rock man.
Wow. Now we've hit the base.
Are you gonna get the blues?
Oh my god, these.
This is what we
Man,
did.
how about how ugly this level is? Am I right? I could never get the colors how I wanted them on this
by the way, these things, as you probably know, pattern-wise, they jump 2 small and 1 large hop. I don't remember if they do that in the original Mega Man game, but that's...
Pay no attention. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what they did. It definitely made them jump way higher than they did in the original.
Wait, but what they do is they do 2 small hops and then 1 large hop, which like pattern, and I mean that's what we're talking, right? To beat these games, knowing pattern stuff, you can't really, and then like the random like thing. So yeah, like I said, like as compared to all that is a common theme in all the Mega Man games. Oh, by the way, sorry, I will get back to the theme. This is really cool. The one secret you have coming up, one of several, right? Is there is the giant. Can I ask a question? This giant thing here, does it refill your tanks as well?
No, it's just health.
It should do tanks. It should do tanks too, as I said. You know, me being overly critical despite being enamored.
Yeah.
But what you do really well there is on the previous stage, there's a health refill that you can grab kind of hard, and then you want to go to the right. You do a really good job on that of both making me not want to go look for the secret and then giving me a hint that it's there, which is really cool. So there you go. Nice job.
Thanks.
But then to the point of like, yeah, missing things like vertical is something that's pretty common in the Mega Man games, like the lightning beam in the first one, you know, the blades in
that's right. Yeah, I forgot
the
about
later
the
ones.
Beam, but...
And yeah, and then you do go with enough vertical, you know, enemies that hover that in the level someone is on. In one of the levels you do a thing. You do a thing where you have these like those hopping, those things, they hover too. So like there really should be a weapon that lets you shoot up.
Yeah, when they get on top, you like that to kind of get rid of. I kind of like those guys just because I think they're neat. They used to just hop around in the game. I gave them wings for this, and now they fly around.
Hey, we're not. Yeah, despite what some people in the chat are saying, this isn't Jumpman. This is Mega Man.
It's true.
But yeah, so like design, minor thing. And I mean, admittedly, right, the initial Mega Man, first Mega Man had 6 bosses, and then kind of after that 8 became the norm. I completely understand going with 4 just for time constraints.
Right. Yeah, I'd kind of laid out like a plan of what I wanted this game to be, and I'd like from the outset I decided, you know, I wanted 4 bosses and like 2 castles, because there's always like 2 castles, even if they only had 1 level each, which is what I ended up doing. Because very time consuming.
Yeah.
But
oh, I suck. There we go. Yeah, and one thing that's really cool about this versus, I guess, to actually get back to that, get away from being enamored and actually start talking like specifics. One thing that's really cool about this compared to the original Mega Man game.
K El Mariachi. I know what it does.
If you
I
press
thought this
K,
guy was cool because like the trick is you like face away from him to fight him.
it's cool because the other way you could beat him, or would want to beat him, which does work, is you basically just get up close and shoot Jupiter Man's weapon right in his face. But then one of his replies is to lean forward and hit you. So basically, it is kind of an interesting one where like the best way to beat him is to do what you're saying, is to look away, but it is still possible to beat him kind of still lunging head forward.
Right. I made sure these little maps on the castles match the level layout because I thought that was really cool. That's
Which
what
is
they
actually
did in the
important.
original games.
The original Mega Man, yeah, you beat me to it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Beating you to a lot of things.
Look. Yeah, the game you built. Why don't you press K a few times? Does F do anything?
These guys can jump really high sometimes. Which makes me kinda
Yeah,
funny.
like this too. Like you could really use a vertical weapon for that.
Yeah, I should have made it so like Sharpman's or possibly. Sorry, Sharp Blade.
Okay, this
or
is
Venom
important.
Toss.
Sorry, Altered Snapper says, "Hi, I am a tool." That's a weird thing to say. Altered Snapper, what
Alright.
type of tool are you?
Take your word for it.
I should have thought of something more clever. I didn't think about that before going, but you know, is what it is.
Well, that's where we are.
Yeah. Could have even made like a Mega Man joke, I guess. Like, don't make me cut you. I don't know. But
Like, don't make me
as
cut you.
and scene. But what's cool about this game is, unlike original Nintendo games, see, this is classic Mega Man, where I just repeat the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
Is the world persists, which is really cool because a lot of old Nintendo games, the hack that they had to do was, you know, you would only render certain parts, and that was how you could take advantage of, you know, glitches, you know, get things. Lo and behold, in Metroid, he used it correctly there. Probably said Metroid
nice.
a few billion times already, but I'm actually referring to Metroid. In Super Metroid, one of the known hacks to win is that you basically blow up one boss, or like this wall. If you don't blow it up, you can force it to not render because the code logic says render the next one after this previous one is, and that's to prevent game slowdown. Whereas yours, as an example, you point out the boulder. The boulder follows you forever. And the Dr. Wily stage you're in right now, these like jumping things that I think you're already past, they are just they're actually really awesome. Have you shown like a super jump?
Yeah, one of them did that earlier. Because they will always try to be in front of you. I didn't want you to be able to run away from them. So if you're facing away, they jump super far. And if you're above them, they jump super high to get out of whatever pit they're in.
Yeah, so these things are super awesome in that, yeah, if you try and use old Nintendo logic, if you try and use old Nintendo, well, I'm trying to beat a boss right now, so. If you try and use old Nintendo logic, they'll just follow you to the end of the earth and hurt you. And that's because things can persist for forever, basically, in your game. As opposed to old Nintendo where stuff wouldn't render when you got through it. And in fact, I didn't do it on this stage, but there is an E-Tank that you intuitively want to use rush to get. And if you do that, you die because there are spikes above you on the stage above. And so like, and actually I'm curious on like Godot, how much is allowed to be kind of like in the memory all at once?
I have no idea. These levels aren't very big, so I didn't run up against any barriers.
Because like, is there something like let's say a weird in theory thing, like this is, we kind of discussed fun game dynamics, because I could see you doing a lot with like what you did, like what you did for Cleopatra level with the boulder is like inspired and really clever, like a really clever expansion of Mega Man that I think is pretty awesome.
Oh, thanks.
But no, whatever. The rest sucks.
Wow.
I can't even joke that your stuff's awesome. Anyway, but like that's pretty clever. But like you could in theory do something right where if everything's persisted. Oh, by the way, do you do this on the top of the ladder? You can just use Jupiter Man's weapon, point straight at him. That works pretty well for those guys. I found out.
I've just been shooting them. It's a good pro tip. I like it.
Yes, good. Brought to you by the guy so far in the. I think you might beat Wily by the time I get to the Wileys.
Perhaps.
Yep. But yeah, like you could have something where like the boss, as you were like playing, what you were doing actually affected the boss. But I don't know. Like, if there could be an animation of the if there could be a legit animation of the boss doing something that you were able to see or something. I don't know.
You can kill these things, by the way. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but
I know.
Jupiter Man's weapon will kill him. Yeah.
I'm gonna get beat on my run through now just because I'm so far behind. Although I would think for speedrunners that I would actually think that getting beat is probably slows you down because it adds frames to go through.
It does, not a lot, because most of the like teleporting and stuff isn't timed.
Have you?
Ammo.
Oh, interesting. This
right.
We're gonna have to get some. Okay, so go to the professional Mega Man speedrunner channels and see what they say.
Because like the Wily fight is random, right? So it's possible he will get stuck in the air for a while, and Beat can help knock him down. Like, because if you get a good hit with Beat, and people on the stream have not seen Beat, so
you're getting Beat though?
Yeah, I always get him. I was like, why not? I think he's cool. You're right, he's not like the greatest secret ever, because I had these secret rooms for a long time.
I was gonna say, what are you talking about? Like this follows. It's a really good Mega Man homage. It's a really good. I forget it. That I mean, you had to have added that after you saw like the same dynamic? Was it in 6 where there were multiple entrances to some of the bosses, and based on if you did them, you got beat. So you do the exact same thing, like perfect homage.
Yeah, it's similar, and so every of these rooms with the teleporter does have like
similar,
a second one.
And that like Coke and Pepsi are similar.
Well, and that I was just really not sure how I was gonna do this level, because I didn't know if I wanted like just a teleporter room, like happens in so many Mega Man games, where it's just a room full of teleporters that go to each of the bosses. But I knew I wasn't. But this was all going to be like one level that led up to Wily, so that's why I kind of spread it out a little bit. But I still wanted some kind of secret, because I don't know. I've got some other thoughts about this level that we can.
Yeah, let's hear them. I've talked a bit, as I do. Thoughts on the level. Lannon's top 10 thoughts on Lannon's last level.
First of all, do you like how this little secret room is the same shape as the room you came from? That's the only one that's like that. I thought that was. Anyway, I know, like I wanted this, like the Wily levels in the Mega Man games are always difficult, right? They're like the hardest levels. They're different, and I wanted this one to be, and I broke Mega Man tradition by allowing vertical scrolling here, but I thought that would be kind of a cool surprise for anyone getting here. Like, just make it seem that much more, like I was saying, just the Wily levels are supposed to be special and different, and I did my best to do that. I wanted like things to feel like high tech and dangerous. That's why like those zoo spots is what they're called, are like around. They're not cute. They don't have eyes. There's making this crazy noise.
Yeah, they are.
High energy laboratory. I wanted more stuff like that, but I don't know. The level ended up kind of simple, and like it started out with like a lot of like challenging spike things.
You have the challenge. I mean,
but then it devolves pretty quickly into just like going teleporter to teleporter.
I'll make a weird observation, which is as mentioned, I certainly have my fair share of criticisms on your game. Just because. But like it's funny is like some of the stuff that you're like, oh, this I don't know if this was enough or blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, that's good. You're like, good news is I died. This is like the most optimal. If you're gonna die, this is like the number one place to die. Is you die right by the spawn point.
So as everybody saw, I'm at Dr. Wily now, and I did get all the beat letters. Beat was introduced in Mega Man 5.
It was created.
It's created by Dr. Coat. There he is. See,
okay,
Beat comes rushing in to save me. It's not obvious what he's doing, but he flies around to the top, and he will fly down and attack Dr. Wily. If Dr. Wily is on a path that will get low enough to hit me, then he comes down and stops him. So because normally like it can randomly like get low enough to hit you with his ship, so it's a fair amount of damage and hard to dodge. And so Beat is here to protect you. And then if Dr. Wily goes up high enough, he hits him there too. And he does do damage. Like you can just sit here and Beat will, just like that, will kill Dr. Wily.
Beat will beat the level.
He will beat the level.
Okay, by the way, here's the one thing I wanted to talk about. So right here, right, there's this E-tank, there's a spike, there's a long jump. I'm like, I don't know about this. Let's be careful. You bastard. Or you jerk. Let's use and that's exactly what we're saying, is that this level persists, which is really cool. Because in most Mega Man games, that's why like a lot of the clipping stuff works, is like you are in an individual frame, and exiting, when you like get to the end, it knows to render a new frame.
And now Beat is with you on the boat.
The whole world. I didn't pay attention to that when I beat the game. That's really cool.
The awesome boat.
Oh my god. And I have forgotten how to jump. Worst jump ever. Okay, yeah, I'm good on lives. I hate myself. Cool boat. Best part of the game.
I did make it so you can slow down the credits in case they go through too fast.
You were like, hey, someone draw me a boat. And they were like, for $10,000, I'll draw you this boat. Worth every penny.
Slows way down. Then you can speed it back up.
So what's the button combination to do that?
Select will slow it down by half, and start will speed it up by double.
Does that impact your? And I forgot.
It's not doing the timer.
I want to pay attention because I haven't seen yet. Did the score? Oh, come on. Did the scoreboard come up yet?
No, I'm making it go really slow. So it's gonna take hours to get to the scoreboard. Nah, just kidding. I'll let it go normal.
My hubris got the best of me, and then I was like, here, I'm gonna show this hack. And then I've like died on the path getting back like 4 times.
You know, to be honest, I was worried that my game was gonna be too easy.
Well, what's funny, you kind of didn't do this intentionally, but by not doing it right after Mega Man, it was kind of funny. And that, like, if you recall, there was all sorts of silly stuff when I was playing it the first time. I was like, oh yeah, you can, oh look, this game actually starts with a rush, which had we done this right after 6, I would have known to look for and been used to. Because rush, in Mega Man 2, you get the items, but they're later. Mega Man 1, there's a hidden item you don't get till the end, like till one of the last stage. Oh, by the way, can I show you something here? Speed rushing tip.
Yeah.
Come up here. Immediately drop rush. Immediately jump. Fastest way to that.
Nice.
I guarantee you there's not a faster way.
No, I believe it. That's good. Like, I did put blocks that appear early on near the ladder. Just so if you walk into the room and like think you're gonna use rush, you might hit him. But I'm glad that's cool. That's a good tip. I like that. I like that. That's possible if you're fast.
Yeah, it's really helping me. I think I might catch up with you now, thanks to all the frames. That's what's wild when you hear like really good speedrunners. Is they're like, okay, you do this thing because it's gonna gain you like 2 frames. Like one of the most common ones for Metroid, using it correctly, is when you're going through Metroid, you want to like basically kind of wave your arm with the bumpers. Mm-hmm. And you do that. Okay, this is awesome. I'm not costing myself time. So you got through this game in 16 hours and 27 minutes and 56 seconds while we've been playing a while.
I think those are the units, yeah.
You gave out 984 damage. You took 184. That's the amount of times, and that's the number you kill. And okay, so here's one question on this little screen here. Do you count uniqueness, or like if I die and kill again, do you count them?
I count them again.
So like a fun speedrun for someone would be like if you wanted to get like 99 in all. That's cool. That is really.
that would take you a while. Yeah, thanks. I actually spent quite a bit of time last night working on this scoreboard.
Yeah, like threatened you. I was like, is this going to be ready in time? And you were like, maybe. And I was like, well, maybe I won't play.
Yeah, and I see it still has a bug that I thought I
Oh, what
fixed.
do you got?
So you'll see the Jupiter Man mid boss down there says it took a minute 56. That's like how long it took me to do the level. Um, I thought I fixed that, but I guess that's still in there.
Yeah, well, you know,
Stupid. So
why
stupid.
don't you open up the code engine right now and fix it? All right, so I'm actually curious. Like, I mean, like I know it is kind of sardonic or jokey to do it that way, but like for Rizzle, oh my God, and we lose all of our viewers. Like, what are some of your like top things that you think are relevant, like in development? Like I said, this isn't a mod, so I'm curious about the difficulty in getting the look and feel
Um,
of this to look and like behave like Mega Man.
so I spent quite a bit of time trying to make it move like Mega Man. It's not exact. I think my guy's a little bit faster. He jumps a little bit faster. Um, but most of it is the same. The because Mega Man is actually a really interesting game, and that's kind of wanted to talk just the development of the game, especially after playing all the Mega Man games, because I learned quite a bit about the Mega Man games just trying to make this. Um, and so Mega Man as a character, as a player character, has pretty unique movement actually. Because you'll notice when you just like start to move, he won't immediately go into his walk or run animation like um, especially most other games at the time. He does this sort of like forward step, and it moves you forward like a pixel, and that's kind of allows you to like move forward one pixel at a time to like do jumps and things like that.
By the
And
way,
so I
brief
like wanted to
interlude.
put
That
that in.
is part of one of the biggest like gaps in the game, which was zipping, is because Mega Man's able to like clip himself into the wall because there's an off by one error because Mega Man is able to like sneak into walls.
Mm-hmm.
And they intention and because of that like really thin margin you're talking about, they tried to build protections. I'm just not going to beat the game tonight, I guess, or you're going to get lots of time to talk. But yeah, so that like that's funny that exact like dynamic is part of one of the biggest things, but then it's also very unique. So how long did that take you, by the way, to like get the because you have the sprites so you can make Mega Man move, but you know this
Mm-hmm.
feels just like Mega Man. I'll say that.
Let me throw something up actually. It like I said, I spent it only took me like a week or two to get enough of it programmed in the Godot engine to look like a Mega Man game. I then like tweaked the movement kind of throughout the development process and spent quite a bit of time getting the movement, like I said, feeling like Mega Man. Um, let me. All right, so I'm gonna. How can I do this?
I don't
Let
know.
me.
You tell me.
Let me make mine disappear for a
At
second so
this
I don't
point, I should be trying to
lose
get
my.
99 of all the enemies to be the first person to ever do it on stream.
That would be impressive, yes.
Indeed, veritably. 1, 2, 3. Boom.
All right, so yeah, I don't know if you care to watch or not. Like, I know you're in the middle of a run, so I don't want to distract
It's
you
like the
from
most
what you're
important
doing,
run of the world. I
from
want to
your
not.
from your world
I want to
record.
not beat it in 4x the time it took you. You know.
You are gonna be the fastest non-developer time.
Non-developer. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Well, also that's a weird interlude question before you show whatever. Like, how many times have you played this game? Weird question.
I was thinking about that, like especially when doing the scoreboard. I bet I've beaten this game. I bet I've done a full run of this game more than any other game I've ever played in my life.
And El
Like,
Mariachi wanted to bet $5 on me. That is literally like betting on, I don't know, the Detroit Pistons to beat the Milwaukee Bucks
like,
in the continents. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, sounds right.
you
Like
don't know. Don't.
Let me whoops. I've got hang on.
I was gonna say that
Whoops.
not intentionally, but that very much from like the little jump I showed you, which is the fastest, does very much remind me of Super Metroid. The what Shine Spark that you do to get one of the hidden missiles in like the little area where you kind of like go through everything. Reminds me of that, where it's like actually a super easy jump, but it goes through a bunch of noise, which is pretty cool. I'm calling it a direct homage. That was clearly in your brain when you were coding it.
Clearly.
Clearly.
So what I have up now is like a run I did last night, and this is like my best recorded time after I put the stats in, and like it's not a whole lot faster what I did today, like maybe a minute. But like I almost never die like when I go through the game, only when I'm like trying to do dumb stuff. Um, and in this run that I have on screen now, I put
Ooh, I'm
in.
sorry. I've got to jump in and steal that. I'm still in that metaphor. Dead horse to beat a Ferrari. And I would watch that movie. I would watch Dead Horse versus Ferrari, where Christian Bale
I would
plays
too.
me and Matt Damon plays you. And you're like, well, Dead Horse learned a thing today. Learned it was slower than a Ferrari, or it was Ford. Ford versus Dead Horse. I don't know. We'll workshop it.
Yeah, we'll figure this out. We'll have a screenplay by the end of the week.
With ChatGPT and my own brain, I could get you a screenplay in like a day on that, honestly, which is kind of depressing. Like I'm enough of a sports movie buff. But okay, so it's your best recorded time. You've done a lot. Sorry, before, you know me, I'm all over the place. Here's a question. I'm
See on
stealing
screen
something from
before
like
I made it
super.
better.
That's a nice iterative. Yeah, if you've got other iterative stuff, that's cool to see. Um, this was something done in like Super Meat Boy that he did as like kind of a fun proof of concept with the way he built the game, which is like to record some stuff. He basically keeps track of your playthrough. Could you ever have a Mega Man, kind of like a Shadow Mega Man that you're playing against, that literally is the exact same one,
That
like
you
playing
were
the level, like the person with the best score on
like
the
a
level?
ghost, right? In like a ghost replay. Like some games have that.
Yeah, a lot of stuff, that's pretty common, right?
Yeah. I would not
And
want to
like I
try and
said,
put that in this because, like I said, like this is not. I made this game with like this small scope in mind. Um,
and I'm raising the scopes.
nice.
Pray I don't raise them again.
Nice.
Oh
No,
no, it's not Dr. Wiley,
but
or
so
it's not Dr. Light.
everything is just very much like whatever works at the moment and that I know how to do. Um,
This screen, if you fix the font so it doesn't have that bug you're talking about, the overflow, and also does support super long times, like if it takes 10 minutes to beat, this is like perfect. Like this is a perfect speed running game with just that. Because now you can try and optimize anything. You can try and optimize time. You can try and like you asked about this. You were like, it's kind of funny because in basketball I do this where like I have
mhm.
like an aggregate number statistic that I've helped make methods for extrapolating,
Right.
and people complain about that. But what's really cool about this is like this is an in general speed run kind of thing, right? Where you know Metroid as an example in that game there'll be like 100% items, you know, anytime or whatever.
Hmm.
Or, like you want to do fastest time,
An 8% kind of thing.
but yeah, that kind of stuff. And yeah, so
You know, I've
this
never gotten that E tank that way. Good job. I
that's
always
oh
go up and
okay,
around.
really really interesting. I,
Yeah.
I wish I could go back. That's not the way you thought to get it.
No.
I thought that
Um,
was intentional. Like I actually pulled a U where like I died a couple times doing it, and then like as I was about to go play it again, I thought about it and was like, oh, clearly he want. I was like, oh, clearly he wants you to just go back.
no, this kind of gets back to like ways to avoid the boulder, right? Like when making this game, I had something in mind, and I tried looking for like obvious bugs or like design the levels with like off-screen like
Can I
barriers and
can I
stuff, so you
ask
can't like
a
rush jump
can I
out of the
ask a
level and things
question
like that.
about where I'm at right now?
Yeah.
What are the respawn points? Like if I go in here to get the beat thing and then die, where do I respawn? Back at the beginning?
You will. What did I
Because
do
I'm
for that?
debating if I want to use an E-tank here or if I want to just use a K.
Right. That's a fair question. I know for at least some of them, I made sure if you got through,
So
like,
like here with Sharpman, if let's find out. Let's find out together. I
let's
just did
find out
K.
together. I think I put a respawn point before each of the bosses, but not for this one. Okay. I was like, nobody dies on Sharp, man.
Well, you also gave me two E-tanks. Like you're like, yeah, okay, so interesting. So here, the E-tank is normally right there on the right.
Yeah.
Normally, do you do a right jump, up jump, down? Because I was thinking that initially, I was like, wait a minute, it makes more sense to go back to the left because it's an easier jump over the spike.
Yeah. Yeah. I go up to the right and around, and
Because
then
you
kind
also
of
do
just
that
slide
here,
down on
right?
it.
You want to go right here, and then the actual answer is to jump up over the left.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And what I did do with the spikes on this level only is their hitboxes are a little bit smaller than one tile. Because especially like at the beginning part where you're falling down and things like that, I didn't want it to be super easy to just like clip into one of those spikes when you're trying to get the E-tank and things like that. So I made them a little more forgiving on this level, but not a lot.
Oh,
Because like it's funny I use spikes so much in this game because that's one of my big complaints about Mega Man is
oh, weird question. Am I able to see? I got the letter, but then I ran out of rush, so I'm just going to go in and beat.
you should still have the letter.
I will have it, but I'm saying like there's no way to see that I have it.
No, I didn't put anything in to show it, which I thought about it, but then I didn't because that was like the very last thing I did.
And you break Mega Man convention. We already talked about this last week. You break Mega Man convention of. Let's see. Oh, I'll make it a few.
I break
Two.
Mega Man convention.
Of not giving energy after you beat one of the bosses.
Right. Yeah. And that was because like it isn't just a teleporter room. Like there's more level and there's kind of other.
Mm-hmm.
There's other energy
Oh yeah.
that you'll get to. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
it
why.
makes
Yeah.
makes complete logical sense. Doesn't sound made up or one thing I found here on this one that makes a lot. Oh, I just did it. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get it
this is what
stuck
you
in
want to do.
there.
You just get Cleopatra Man stuck in the teleporter, and that's your buddy. This is nice, classic Mega Man. The secret is you actually want to go down. You already did this, but this seems harder. But the reality is, you basically say whatever the harder.
Yeah. At that point, my thinking was like.
Oh, and this one I know for a fact, by the way. If I do a K there, I go back to the top. Because I have died before, and that's just semi-useful. In that, let's see, I'm hitting Jupiter Man. So I'm just going to refill on energy. I'm going to do this. Okay, again.
Are you not hitting Crush Man?
I'm just refilling the two I'm going to need. That's what I'm saying. So I fell,
I see what you
refilled,
did. Oh, yeah.
fell. You see, you get
Smart, yeah.
it. Yeah.
I like it.
Clever, just dying a bunch. Okay. All right. So we were talking about why you didn't add a thing that you could have added.
Yeah, I was like,
You were trying to make it sound
there's
logical.
other pickups in the level. Very nice.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and I was saying this was funny, like as I mentioned, Metroid is like, oh my.
Oh.
Let's see what.
How many lives do you have? Yeah,
Got
that
one.
should put you right back at that teleporter.
That's a useful thing to remember, by the way, for everybody. And then the good news is, I can make it as long as I kill here, I'll make it to Dr. Wily, and then I can just die. I mean, you're fine. I can die if I just want to refill, and or.
I mean, you'd restart everything. You would not have beat if you do.
Oh, what?
If you die.
I'm pretty sure you can die at the beginning and just go back to the start of Dr. Wily, but you're saying I don't have beat?
If you run out of lives? Actually,
Yeah.
I think you would have beat.
Yeah, like what? Right here. If I
Like
just die here,
yeah.
don't I just start back here with beat? Let's find out together.
No, because you have 0 lives.
Yeah. So
You get a game over screen.
Oh my gosh.
Why didn't you
Well,
believe me?
well, I can rewind the tape to the last time you're like, ah, it should be this. Ah, never mind.
What? That doesn't sound right.
What
Um,
about Andor? Is it like The Mandalorian, which is pretty good? I'm not caught up on this week's Mandalorian.
I'm not either. I'm a
I
couple episodes behind.
I there's only four.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
I
there's
did
another
like
one as of today, right?
yeah. I did enjoy. You might have missed this. So did you catch the one where they follow around the scientist?
Yes. Yeah. They
I
being the camera crew and sound guys and the rest of the film.
Oh well, I mean, actually, even to your point there, they being like got some spoilers there, but they also being people in the show.
Yeah, Mandalorian is that Boba Fett
Well,
spinoff.
that's what I was
It's
gonna
that
laugh
it's
at.
that Boba Fett reboot. They
Yeah, well,
rebooted it
that
into
was
the
what's funny.
Mandalorian.
So notoriously in the Boba Fett, so notoriously in Boba Fett, just randomly, there's like literally they're like, hey, remember the cliffhanger at the end of the Mandalorian? We're like, yeah. They're like, you know how you think we would resolve that at the start of the next season of the Mandalorian? We're like, yeah, that seems like logical sense. They're like, nah. Like we're gonna
Nah.
resolve it in Boba Fett and then just start
Yeah.
anew. And we're like,
Yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit.
we're like, you do you. Well, that's what I was gonna laugh about in the middle of the Mandalorian. They're just like, hey, you know how we've been following around the Mandalorian, also known as the Mandalorian? We're like, yeah. They're like, what if spitballing here, we just follow around like a war criminal for an episode? And we're like, well,
Sounds awesome.
all right. Felt very black. I'm okay with spoilers. If you're not caught up in the Mandalorian, just earmuffs, and I'll try not to ruin
Well,
things.
hang on, I'm not
It,
caught up.
but on that episode, you were caught up on. I explicitly asked if you were caught up on that
Oh
episode, and you
yeah,
said
okay.
yes.
I did say
And
yes.
then made a joke about my very grammatically sound sentence. Um, it felt very Black Mirror-y in kind of what happened, and I'm
It
still
kind of
like
did, didn't it?
I'm still curious. Do we think the other character in that I like their motivation is very interesting, and I couldn't quite figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to the next episode.
I'm looking forward to the next season of what you call Boba Fett,
Jabba
where
the
they
Hutt.
answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Jabba. Yeah, they should make a Jabba the Hutt thing. And it's like Jabba the Hutt's like, you have cost me my empire, Boba Fett. I'll get it back. And we're like, awesome. What's gonna happen? And they're like, hey, remember that war criminal? We're like, no. They
What's
should do that.
funny? What's funny about just going back to Mega Man here, like being able to start moving before they finish their like entrance pose, is it used to be you could like walk over there and actually kill them while they're still posing. It's like I need to
So
fix
I
that much at
actually
least.
remember you know me. I complained. Let's see, crush and sharp. I actually complained about that, where I was noting that like you could waste ammo attacking before you were ready.
If it hits them, it does do damage. It just doesn't reflect until you hit them again, because it's not sending
Really,
the update health signal. Yeah.
this is a really. I've got to give you credit. This is just an awesome. This is like this and the Boulder thing are just really creative
Did you like this? I wasn't.
updates.
I thought it'd be funny to like fight the castle itself. Well, because like Wiley's already in like some kind of skull vehicle, right? It's like so I'm going through all the sprites. And I'm like, all right, what has a skull on it? It's like his castle has a skull on it. You can just
I
fight the
do hate
castle.
I do hate the cooldown time in that. I mean, but I guess that's forgiving where like I'm wasting my like if you wait too long it just bounces off the edge.
hmm
Because you can
In
in
the
theory do two.
hitboxes, yeah, the hitboxes are still a little strange
I
on
wouldn't
this, I
change
think.
anything about this stage is
Okay,
my
well,
two
nice.
cents. This stage is really cool. And then that dynamic of like this hitting you like pretty much
You can actually kill these Zeus bots too.
how?
Shoot Jupiter at the just so it bounces off, and it'll reflect off the shutters and Jupiter will still do damage and hit those things.
Okay, so I will have beat. What I should have checked, what I should have done is I should have beat it again without beat to see if I still had beat. Yeah, well,
That would
next
have been
time.
interesting. I think you probably would, because I don't think I reset that.
One thing I didn't show. Oh, weird. I don't have beat, but I
You,
got
you,
beat.
you, you might. Beat doesn't show up. He's off screen until Wiley does a low dive. Then he'll show up.
Well,
Because he comes rushing in to save you, just like, there he is. Yeah.
that's pretty cool,
Sweet.
actually. Like the narrative you're giving beats is pretty cool. All right, so let's see. Other things to discuss about the game. I mean, there's plenty. Persistent world, stuff that you decided to add. What is the very last like feature you added?
The stat screen.
Okay. Before that.
I think beat was the last thing I added. Because I was like always a little unsure what to do with.
Oh, we both
Nice,
killed them
nice
with
job,
beat.
beat.
Yes.
Yeah. Always a little unsure to exactly what I wanted the final level to look like. And after I kind of early on, I had like those two teleporters at the very beginning, and I was like, oh, they should go different places. And then I was like, well, what should they do? And I wanted like these secret rooms. And then I was like, oh, I could have like E-tanks and stuff. And but then I was like, at this point in the game, really, you've got so many E-tanks and lives, they're not really that interesting anymore. And so I played with different ideas. I thought about having like Proto Man show up, um, but then I wasn't sure what to do with that. And then,
Okay, what is it? Select. What speeds this up?
oh, you can't speed this up. You can't speed up the boat.
That's
You have
fun.
to watch this part.
It's like you watch my stupid boat. Okay, you've got yours up on screen, 1627.
Yeah.
You gave out. So like this is gonna be humiliating for you. I'm gonna tell you. I gave out so much more damage. Okay. Oh, that is cool. Select slows it down.
Mm-hmm.
Start goes up. Okay, look at how much more damage. I took 8 times as much damage as you and gave out 4 times as much. Humiliating, sir. Frankly,
you did spend a lot less time on Sharpman because I did him first, and you I guess had Crushman's weapon, or what order did you do it in?
I do Cleopatra, Jupiter, Crush, Sharp.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Hey, we beat the that one thing in the same amount of. Or no, that's you. Never mind. I was looking at my screen. I was like, I beat it in the same amount of time you beat it. Is that
Um,
right? It only took me twice as long to beat it as you, and that's like dying 4 times.
I don't know. It's probably about right. You died 29 times.
Okay, you
What are you
definitely have.
doing?
Okay. Can you kill those little skulls that hop off? Or are they
You,
unkillable?
you you can. And everything on this screen you can kill. That's why I put them on here. But like so like the axe traps, those axes on Sharpman's level that go back and forth, you cannot kill those, so they don't show up here. So everything here you can kill, and those
How do you,
things
how do you kill the skulls?
you can only kill them with Jupiter Man's weapon, and only after they've stopped bouncing, then you can kill them.
Who? Why?
Another that's another Mega Man secret for you. Another another good secret. And then you can of course kill those like blue turret things, but like there's not a lot of reason to. So
Yeah, you don't take damage, you coward.
psh, doing
I
just take
took
damage.
almost as much damage as you gave out. That is ridiculous. Look at my deaths.
I know.
Now,
You were
now to be fair,
very heavy with that K button.
that K button, man, I was dropping more Ks than Hamilton, who's on the 10K. Is that right? I don't. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess 29 is more than 10, so that all checks out.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
Well, this is certainly more reasonable, right? Only about an hour for both of us to get through it, and that's ridiculous on my part. This screen is really cool. Obviously, the frustrating, annoying, like point is like whatever needs to happen to clean up the numbers or allow that overflow. Since yeah, it might take you forever to get through the bosses.
yeah, yeah, I need to like I don't mind some of the numbers running off. That's just kind of I mean, oh, I was thinking like for all the bosses, instead of converting over to minutes, I'll just show the seconds. That'll save a couple decimal places or a couple digits.
Millions.
Millions. I figure still want the hundredths of a second though, right? We don't want to just round to a second or
For
tenths.
the total time at the top, I'd say no. I'd say you want seconds for all the bosses total. I'd say seconds with tenths of a second. Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
make the font size. Zortanks has a good suggestion. Make the font size really, really small.
I was thinking about reducing the font size, but
This screen
like
looks pretty good,
I
like
appreciate
as
it.
is.
But like the thing about
You might want to just
um,
put Wiley up higher or whatever. I mean, obviously there's a bug there, right, with how the time's calculated. But basically the bottom, the Wiley, and what's the one next to Wiley? What boss is that?
the one to the left,
Yeah.
that's the
Oh yeah, the thing on the
helmet
bottom.
hover tank.
Kind of looks like a
Or sorry,
seashell.
helmet hover cannon. And
Sure.
and
The seashell.
I reduced the size of all of the enemies, even if they didn't necessarily need it, just to give them this crappy resized look, just to make it look consistent. And
I like
I
that
kind of liked it.
you're like, you know how some of these enemies look crappy? You're like, I did that on purpose.
Yeah, like that, like the little I don't remember what I call them on the little walking guys, that the green guys that we got three of. I think I called them skirtles or something. Like they fit inside that window, but like now I'm gonna
I might
resize them a little bit just so
what I
they.
might do if it's not too much pattern, because this is the most fascinating. We're like, let's talk about the fun parts of game development. Like, let's talk about fonts and alignment. This is what I do. Like, it's like, hey, have you updated the CSS on this so there's more padding? It's like,
Right.
good idea. I might put Dr. Wiley and Dr. Light in quotes, in the
Mm-hmm.
middle, like in the center, with like a bold thing around them,
Mm-hmm.
and then put the other ones like just around, like the same layout, but the only change I would do is I would put Wiley and Light in the middle with the thing around them, and then the other ones around, and then the things as is would be good. And then
Okay.
actually, since you have
Yeah.
four bosses, you could literally do that, yeah, you could do Wiley, Light, the enemies on the side, so two to the left, two to the right, and then the minis on in the middle. I think would be how I would do it. Something like that.
Yeah, you might have to mark something up. I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, I'll send you a mock-up. I'll actually have you use like Figma. So at
No.
my place, some designers have Figma. I'm not cool enough to merit a license, so I can look at it. It's like a mock-up tool. Thortank says all the bosses on a 2x2 grid on the left. Yeah, you can do that too. There are a lot. So everybody send your markups to Landon.
Yeah. Send me
This will be
your
just like
notes.
Mega Man.
Your review. Yeah.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Um, I've had lots, obviously.
Sure.
With where the game is now and where it could be, how much are you open to expansion?
I don't know. I was thinking about that, especially with like all these stats, because as I was putting these together, I was thinking of different things I could do, right? Because I was thinking of I could keep track of making if you killed every actually unique enemy, right? Like everything that spawns, if you killed it at least once, then they could be marked like their number could be in gold or something like that. Be like, hey, you killed every individual, you know, Peng, which is this sharp blade guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I could. Then I was thinking like keeping track of did you get all the pickups, right? The 100% run, that kind of thing. Um, but I
Well,
don't know how much I want to do.
here's a throw out to you. I mean, yeah, apologies, because I'm like, how much more do you? You're like, I don't know, but here's a point.
Hmm.
This is literally, legitimately, and not a bad way, a half-made Mega Man game, because a standard Mega
Yeah.
Man game has 8 bosses. You have done an amazing homage to a lot of stuff. And by the way, we got all the time in the world, right? We got years. We got all these
So
other
many
games.
years. Yeah, we're
We've
good.
got
We've been going till
Castlevania.
1 a.m. So we got.
We
Oh,
got Zelda.
you
We
mean
got
you
Zelda.
don't mean
And we got to
tonight?
play
Okay.
Zelda 2 so I can crush you
Oh my God, that'd be a
at a game.
disaster. Yeah.
We should do it. I mean, you just doubled my time. By the way, Zortank says like I more than doubled your time. I think that's actually like a bug. I think it's a rounding error. I'll send you the code.
Sorry, what?
Designing is just making a lot of choices.
A lot of choices.
It's true. Designers are awesome though. Anyway, coders just wreck things. We're like, what if we do this? Like, you
Yeah.
ruined everything. It's like, but I did it so efficiently. I did it in n log n time. Like a normal human would have taken n squared time to ruin this. I'm stealing a joke from what's it called, Silicon Valley. He was actually saying that they like accidentally like erased an entire site. And he's just like, it does prove the strength of our algorithm though, because like I would dare to say a normal cloud company could only have destroyed like a tenth of your data.
That's awesome.
It doesn't know. But anyway, so in classic Mega Man fashion, right? You've got 4 bosses, half a game.
Hmm.
You've done a lot of great homages. One of the last parts of the original Mega Man games, 2 on, was fan submissions for bosses.
Right.
I'm saying you got 4 bosses.
Right.
Standard Mega Man game has 8.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this, and
you've got nerdy fans complaining.
this is something I had thought about, like adding 4 more bosses at this point wouldn't be the hardest thing ever. Like, it in theory it shouldn't take another 6 months to add 4
Zortanks
bosses, right?
just revealed that they're not a fan of yours. I'm the only fan.
Wow.
Yeah, that's rough.
Wow. Ouch.
That hurts. That hurts, Zortanks.
Well, you gotta start somewhere.
We were gonna add you in the FAQ and the secrets and these secrets.
The secret FAQ.
Yeah, the space to brick. You could do space to brick secret megaguy.html/secrets.
Yeah. HTML is just a folder. But yeah. So I don't know. Like because I was thinking about that, and I was wondering, like, the biggest mess of this game, and if I were to like do an actual dev episode, which would be more about talking about like the design than the actual implementation.
So I actually next week I have to take off next week, unfortunately. Not in a bad way. My kid's on spring break and just time's not going to work out.
Sure.
But like in 2 weeks, if you want to do that, I can even just like play chess on the side, or that would be really fascinating to me, depending where you want to dig. And I mean that actually goes back to the roots of 2 TV gaming back in the old days. We used to go over code together.
Yeah, I remember.
And we just went off on this weird Nintendo thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
whatever we're doing now.
Our fans were so confused. They're like, "Wait, you were reviewing Java code from 2003, and suddenly you're playing Nintendo games from the 80s? What is this?"
Speaking of dev a little bit, I forgot I actually brought this movie up in a window. I can show you, like, this is Mega Man 3 running on a Nintendo emulator, and my game running just as it is. And if I have them both open, they will both accept the controller input. So this was and then I just kind of made a level that has the same shape as this section of Snake Man's level. Obviously, I didn't have the tiles because that would have been more time consuming than I felt like doing for this. But just as a little demonstration, here's my comparison of how they move, which is pretty similar.
Like Mick Jagger?
How they move like Mick Jagger. And so, like I said, mine jumps a little faster. And of course, I didn't take the enemies out of either game. But they're pretty close, I think.
Mega Man's gonna die. That is really cool. I mean, that was one of the biggest things I was saying. It's like just how much it felt the same. Like literally, it felt like a Mega Man game. And part of your trick to being able to beat me so well was making me forget like the nuances of Mega Man in between. Because we played all that Metroid. But yeah, I mean, even the dynamics. By the way, this is a hack from some of the later Mega Man games that if we use stick on 4 would work well. Is they just have a toggle. Like you can, I imagine you have multiple buttons, right? I'm playing on a Super Nintendo controller. Mm-hmm. I argue like the Super Nintendo is one of the greatest controller designs ever made.
I agree.
Like I have like the bumper buttons and stuff. Like if like the left one lets you just toggle through your like weapons quick, and the right one lets you toggle through your rush, like that would be cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And I thought about.
I'll make you a Trello board. I'll start adding feature requests and stuff.
I just didn't get around to it. But Yeah, so a lot of the issue with this game, like I spent a lot of time trying to get the movement to feel right at least, and that wasn't that bad. Oh, we're playing chess now.
Gonna do puzzles in the background, so at least some animation, so
So
people can
so
watch.
people have something to look at. Good idea. Um, but
Well, you're not gonna know what I'm doing with my rooks, so there you go.
here I can fix the window. Um, but like I said, I just kind of made the game more or less as quickly as I could, just kind of mashing out a Mega Man game. And so like, especially not knowing the Godot engine that well, there's a lot of things I would do differently. And the biggest issue is just how complicated the logic is. Like as far as when Mega Man dies, what happens, and like signals are sent out and functions are called and state is reset and some state has to persist, and it got a little out of hand, and it's not done very well at all. And but in setting up like a new level from scratch takes a little bit of time, and if I was going to do that, I would have to do it soon, because in a few weeks that how to make a new level in Mega Man Secret is just going to be knowledge lost to time, because there's kind of a lot of steps, except of course you could just copy one level to the next, because Godot is actually pretty awesome that way. So yeah, like adding levels isn't that big a deal. It's just time consuming and getting all the graphics and enemies, things like that together. Um, the last big time sink I had really was putting together like all the animations for like the story, and just transitions between the different screens, and like the Dr. Light encounter and Dr. Wily and things like that.
Yeah. So what took longer? Like if that little like sequence, right? When you beat Doctor Light, I put in quotes, and it's he's a robot, and then Dr. Wily says stuff, and yada yada yada, and then it transitions, and we see the maze. How much time does like that animation take?
That took I don't know. I have a really hard time estimating how long things took. Someone else asked me in real life. They asked me like how long I'd spent on my project. Like this was before the reveal, and I actually had no good answer for that, because I would have to go back and look at how many like git commits I did, I guess, and then estimate how long each day was that I actually worked on it. Um, everything in Godot Zortangs is text files. Like it's all human readable. Like
Human readable text like JSON is the most engineer comment I've ever heard that I also like agree with.
yeah, no, it's true.
I'm like, yeah, if you're like a VS Code or whatever has a converter too, like it automatically lints it, makes it look great. Like, oh man, JSON's the best.
no, JSON is great.
We all agree. We all love JSON.
Show my Godot file. Wow. Um,
Well, I looked at some actually like yeah. I can go for like maybe another 10, 15. I was gonna say like some of that was a little interesting because there are like script things or whatever. Like from a code perspective, that's where it gets interesting because you were saying, Zortanks is looking to get banned from the channel. That's fair though. What I was gonna say is that.
here's Cleopatra man's level. I don't know if this
All
is
right.
what you wanted to see.
Oh
Does this
yeah.
make you happy? Is this what you
But
wanted?
how much of that is you writing versus how much of that is the Godot engine generating it?
Well, the Godot engine generated all this, of course. Like it's all in.
Really? You didn't type that out?
I
What
didn't
a
type
noob.
all
What
these
a
numbers,
noob,
believe it or
man.
not.
Come on.
What I typed for Cleopatra Man was this. So here's in the levels themselves. I don't have many scripts, right? Like Mega Man dies, all right. So then the level stops the music because the level is playing the music. Um, things get picked up. There's different spawn points. Level starts. I just kind of set this up, and this is all Python-like, which makes it really easy to pick up. Oh yeah, this must be. That's now I'm looking at my stream. This is super small on stream because it's not full screen. Anyway, like the level code is not very interesting because it doesn't have to do much at the scene level.
So coding wise, like you were mentioning stuff like hand coded, whatever. I'm curious about like here's a hypothetical. So you know you obviously follow the normal Mega Man route of gotta be a mate. Nope. You follow the normal Mega Man route of like the hard hat guys. But if you wanted like intelligently designed robots that were weak to the like a logical weakness, like you wanted some kind of cohesion, and you wanted to like, yeah, that's a good question. Like, how hard is it for someone else to generate a level for you?
I would not try to do that outside of the Godot tool. Like it's like Unity or Unreal or any of those. And if you wanted to try typing this up, I mean, good luck.
But I mean, is there even anything you could do to generate like here's a weird question, like if you wanted to generate just like ABC, like let's say 3 rooms,
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, hey, randomly put some enemies in there and randomly put some stuff. How hard would like that kind of generation be? Because you're saying you like basically drew this stuff, but is there any way to like just design, just like procedurally generate a level in a text editor, like even like AI generated or something?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because everything like you do in the editor, like drawing the tiles or saying I want this enemy spawn point here, that can be all be done programmatically. It's just way faster, like using the editor.
So yeah, like that's a question. How hard, in your opinion, would it be to like have an auto-generated level?
Um, that sounds like a master's thesis, so I think hard.
What? Can't be that
An
hard.
auto-generated Mega Man level?
Yeah,
Um, I mean, it's not impossible, right? Other games do it. Any kind of roguelike does it. Dead Cells would be a good example for a
that is
platformer
also
with
one of the biggest programming language comment like things I've ever heard too.
what's
Yeah,
that?
let's just take one class and 40 lines, right? Easy.
What the auto-generated
Oh yeah,
Mega Man
that's
level?
yeah. I'm not on my game right now, man. Some of these are just rote. That one I should have seen super quick. Anyway, it's almost like I'm talking about code.
Like, if you're um, so a level that is one screen room with 2 basic enemies and 2 static obstacles would be sorry, Zornix, I'm not following. So if like what like
Yeah. Like let's pretend actually the screen we're looking at right now is like left is a room, right is a room. It's already a room, and literally in the room, like let's just say I hypothetically wanted to have like an E tank, a random item, an E tank or whatever to pick up in the first room, and 2
mhm,
random enemies of any sort in the second room.
yeah.
How hard is that?
I mean, that's easy.
So this gets, I mean, so I'd kind of started thinking this kind of thing for Square. This has got to be all sorts of fascinating, like with Squarediana, because like Squarediana would also be a fun thing to expand upon. Like now that you're getting some of the chops behind you, and Squarediana currently is in Unity, right?
Squirtiana is in QBasic, C++, and Unity.
Well, that is the weirdest tech stack I've ever heard. I don't think many people do the C++ Q Basic Unity combo.
Well, they should really give it a shot. I'm gonna write a blog about it, and everyone's gonna be doing it.
Yeah.
Um, so just as a quick example, like for
Right.
for for um like spawning enemies, this is my enemy spawner. So I couldn't just put enemies in the level because I had to work against the engine a little bit to make it more Mega Man-like, and so I had to put enemy spawners in the level, and that way when you go off screen and come back, it spawns another enemy.
Do you know why the little Jupiter things like that line of them in that middle thing don't respawn?
I fixed that. Um,
But what was it? I gotta know the bug. I gotta know the bug, man.
so let me show you. It's on. It's because of this enemy spawner or the way it works. So this enemy spawner has a child that you set, which is just whatever enemy class that you want. You just drag it in here and say, I want it to be like the Saturni, which is those Saturn jumping guys that we're talking about. And so when it comes on screen, screen entered. If it's not a boss, spawn it. It spawns, creates an instance of it, sets it as the child, um, puts it wherever is supposed to spawn it because you can have offsets and rotation and stuff, and then claims that it was created, and this thing puts it in the world. This is one of my functions here. So anyway, so then it's in the world, and then it syncs up.
Your enemy names are on point. C++
I,
guy.
I tried to make them. I was looking at like what Mega Man calls their enemies and tried to make them kind of like that. But anyway, so like this is the important part here. It when the enemy is created, it connects this signal called died to this function on spawn died, and so the spawner won't spawn a new enemy as long as their child is still alive. That way, if it follows you off screen and it follows you back, it's not going to create a duplicate from the same spawner, right? You have to kill that one. Um, and so when spawn dies, it sets it to null. The problem was Saturni was never emitting this signal, and so when it died, it never told the spawner it died, so the spawner thought it still had a child and wouldn't spawn a new one. And that's what that bug was. So all I had to do was when the Saturni dies, is it says, hey, I died, and then the spawner's like, oh, well, next time I'm on screen, I'll make a new one then.
Events
Yeah.
are wild, huh?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think on both Squarediana and even Mega Man, there's something interested to self-generated or like wildness, right? Like you could, to Zortanks' point, have an interesting like. All right, I got one for you. I got a hypothetical. Same kind of idea. You have this interesting thing where you're chasing Wily, right?
Sorry, just to address the question in the chat, Zortanks. I didn't write custom spawn. Like, this is the spawn code for every enemy in the game, including bosses. Like, this is the function that's called. Um, they just have to emit a signal when they die.
But what I was going to say is, so right, you have this level where Wily runs back and forth and you shoot in. You could have.
Sorry, just he's asking more questions. Because let me show
So
you.
the thing about Mega Man
So
one is here's the story.
let me bring up Saturni. Here's Saturni's code. See, so you can see how short the code is for like an enemy. This is an enemy that like bounces and that's all he does. And he takes damage. He only has 1 hit point, so I didn't care what he gets hit with. Then he emits this signal. But yeah, like I didn't mess around with trying to make the world's greatest Mega Man game engine with the perfect class hierarchy or anything like that because I knew I had a very bounded small project and it was like it's not much code to make an enemy, right? And so you just throw it together and
Didn't you also know you have friends, like coder friends, apparently designer friends that have a lot we can throw at you? Just think about that.
Well, I wasn't thinking about that, all right? And what's funny is like there were a few things. Now see, OOP is so last decade, right? We don't do OOP anymore, all right?
I do.
Well, that's because you're not in the Golang world.
Then I also do like function. There is no paradigm that. Sorry, like I don't know. He wanted to be his project. Well, no, it is his project. But then as soon as it was done, didn't you know we were going to have 1 billion feature requests? Like,
right. Well,
this is kind of amusing for me because I've definitely done the same where I've like put something out on the web and I'm like, here's something I worked on. What does everybody think? And they're like, here's 1 billion ideas. I'm like, oh, this was a mistake. And I'm still doing it, Landon. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, see, it wasn't like because there's like 27 enemies in the game, right? It wasn't worth creating like this, like working so hard to make like this class hierarchy, which I don't even know how to do in Godot. Like I just don't know how to do it. And I hadn't looked it up because it didn't seem important for this project, right? Um, and there were a few things where I did make it general, like I've got this thing called a screen exiter. And so this very short script, and it's just a node. Like I'll show you when I get Godot, like a window that I can share at some point. But this I just drag onto all the enemies, all the weapons, and then when they go off screen, after they've been off screen for the right amount of time, then they disappear. And that's how I do like the old Nintendo. If it's off screen, it's gone. And so that I didn't like have to code into everything. I just threw it on here. But enemies are unique enough in how they take damage, since it's like per weapon. It depends on like what state they're in, if they can take damage. I just didn't bother trying to write something super general. Like I wasn't trying to make an engine within an engine. I'm just gonna write short scripts for every enemy, and that's all.
Oh, sorry, and I'm not going to go. So
Look,
it's funny.
I'm
Even
sorry, Saturni is not reusable, Zortanks. It was never meant to be reusable.
I was going to say I'm trying to give like a funny idea, and then you're going for the things, but I could do that too. But like I'm thinking about like clever things. So like think about this, like already using the Dr. Wily thing you did, which was really clever. And like I really want to give a shout out to your Dr. Wily stage and your rock. Like those are really novel, clever expansions in the spirit of Mega Man that follow along and also show a lot of ingenuity. Um, and so, like, on the same idea, you could, in theory, have a level, like almost what Zortanks was saying, right? Like a single room. There was a certain thing. It just kept regenerating. And Mega Man could keep going through that room if you were chasing Dr. Wily. So, what if you're chasing Dr. Wily and Dr. Wily throws a random enemy boss at you every time you're chasing him, and you only catch him once a certain thing has happened? So you could kind of have like an infinite generating thing, or you could even cycle through like the same 4 rooms somehow, I imagine. Then also to this emitter thing that you did that you were talking about for Saturni, which is really cool. That's a cool name, by the way. I'm angry. But is that what they call him in Mega Man?
I don't know what they call him in Mega Man. I made up names for everybody except Flip Top. He's still Flip Top.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because most of the enemies don't behave in my game the way they do in the original, and a lot of my at least edited the sprites a little bit. Saturni, I just took it straight from the game, but he like floats around in Mega Man, and I made him bounce in mine.
But so like this idea of enemies die when they emit. I'm even thinking of things like StarCraft or whatever, where like you kill enough enemies and maybe it awakens an enemy. So let's talk about like Dre the Horrible, who keeps dying or takes forever. You could do 2 things, right? You could have a super whatever, a super snake, a super jumpy thing that doesn't show up as long as you kill an enemy, as long as you kill a certain type of enemy. You know me, how I like to run away from enemies in the level. Well, you could do like a speed scenario. If a snake enemy doesn't die every 30 seconds, a giant snake gets released mid-level that otherwise would not. Or vice versa. If I'm someone who's doing what I was doing, like in Saturni, like camping them to like get because now that you're telling me that's not broken, right? You can camp that area and really get infinite lives and infinite e-tanks because the odds are like 2%, and there are 7 of them. That is a fantastic place. Very by the way, I keep saying you're doing Metroid homages very deliberately, of course. That's a joke, but but like in Metroid, that was something that happened in Super Metroid, is these like creatures that just pop up 5 at a time, and they're really good for spawning. And in the first Metroid, there was just like these little pipes that would like hop a creature, and you'd want to just like keep grabbing them over and over again. If you're someone who's like trying to spawn Saturni, then you legitimately could have something where like if you kill every time you kill 20 of them, like a giant one shows up. So there's a lot of with with what you've already got there, you've got a lot of cool potential extensions, which is just, I don't know, that's cool. That is cool. It's cool, man.
Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the code itself isn't really the interesting part because it was just kind of. Do you remember like there's these classes of programmers, right? There's like this joke where there's like the MVP, the assassin, the cowboy, and like all this other stuff. Like this whole thing was very cowboy coded, right? Because it was the fastest way to get to the
Well,
final
that's why
product.
there's so many horses in the game.
That's why there's so many horses. And Zortank seems to think that this should be like a game engine, a Mega Man game engine, but it's not. Like it's just everything is very specific and very just at the moment implemented because that's the fastest way to get this product done. It's not expandable, but it was never meant to be.
I was such a noob. If you were watching the Two Gaming chess stream, that was an amateur mistake. Don't look at me. Um, but I mean, also, this is a comment that comes up in creativity, in writing, in everything, and I've been on both sides of this. Like, something beats nothing always. That is one opinion I have.
Hmm.
As a like, I've had a weird thing happen with writing. I said I made a weird metaphor once. I was talking to my co-host on the Box Score Geeks show, Brian Foster. He's awesome. And I was talking about an article I wrote, and I called it like frozen. I was like, you have grand ambitions for dinner, and then you wind up with frozen pizza. Um, but at least you have something to eat.
Yeah.
And I kind of had something like that happen where I like had an article and I had like all of these stats I was going to look up and all of this stuff. And in the middle of like putting that together, I went, okay, my kid's going to wake up sometime. At the time he was younger and I was watching him at home. I was like, he's going to wake up sometime in the next 30 minutes to an hour. I'm
Hmm.
not going to finish that article in 30 minutes to an hour. I know I can get this sub article of it done in 30 minutes and released. I'm going to do that. And like same thing to your game engine. And I mean, there's also like the classic comment, right? What perfect is the enemy of great.
Hmm.
Um, where it's like, yeah, you spend all of this time trying to kind of get the optimal stuff going, and then you find out, oh no, I couldn't get it done. It just kept going forever and ever. So, I mean, I'm not going to have any complaints. And like I said, the interesting thing is, as an example, the scoreboard was a very quick addition. So you've clearly got something in the state of if you want to expand more upon this, you have the ability to. Um,
Yeah, and that's because it's not a very big game, right? Like the code base isn't that big, which keeps it manageable. Like if I wanted to be like, yeah, I should, make this a general Mega Man game where you can like have, you know, uh, your configuration files to, you know, have data-driven Mega Man games, and it's like that's I'm not gonna do that. Like there are projects out there that can do that. Um,
you're not that guy.
yeah, I'm not gonna spend that much time on this. Like it's just whipping something up.
Oh, this is mean. You see this one? This one's mean. Oh, I gave it away. You were watching. If you were watching.
It's like a friend of mine said, a friend of ours said, and I think he read this somewhere, but he had the same sentiment where when he was working on one of his projects, that the advice is for making games is make games, not engines. And so that was kind
Oh,
of my mantra when I was making this, right?
oh.
Like it was,
And that man's name was landed to Zortakes.
yeah,
Just
it wasn't me, but um, and so that's what I was like trying to keep in mind when making this. Like I'm just gonna do the easiest, fastest thing because that was the easiest way. And by the time I learned enough Godot, and by the time I saw enough of these patterns that I could have refactored and make it general, there's no reason to, right? Like, why would I go refactor a game when it's just so much easier and faster to get to the end product? And a lot of that, like to your point, like that's also like one of the codes they say in Agile, right? Like working code trumps all, right? And so like there's all this like perfect design, documentation, testing, all this other stuff. It's like, well, if you have something working, that's the important part, right? Because you need working software. But no, this is definitely not, and I've said this from the beginning. This is not an example of good design, good programming, good anything, right? This is just me learning the engine as I make a game. Um, if you'd like Zortanks, I'd be happy to send you the GitLab invite, and you can comment on all my code. But that wasn't really the point of this project.
That's it. That's boring. The answer to that puzzle. Sorry.
Did you win? Nice.
No, I didn't get any points for that.
Oh.
When we started, I was rated 2,400 at puzzles, and after talking with you, I am now rated 2328.
Nice.
Oh yeah, let's
Almost
finish up the
#1.
night talking about your phone.
Oh yeah, I finally got a new phone. I didn't want a new phone. I don't like new phones. So far, I still don't like new phones. But
Oh, by the way, this is a random
fine.
piece of advice, as interesting as a phone, just if you're looking at chess puzzles, is whenever you can find a double check, usually go for it. That's just good strategy.
That makes sense.
You're welcome. Ah, man, I don't know. I mean, actually, as a nice high level question is like, how interested are you in doing more with this? Because like, I would make the very simple argument that regardless of even agile, blah 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 principles, like this is shippable. Like this is Nintendo Entertainment System shippable, in my opinion.
That is very, very high praise. Thank you.
Now it's I mean, I would definitely take it as high praise, but then also like the easy response is like, you remember the Nintendo era, right? Like
Yeah.
you remember some games that you got and you're like, what the hell
You
is
know,
this?
and on that note, going through all the Mega Man games and then making this and like taking a closer look at the Mega Man games, like it's no wonder that's still like one of the biggest franchises of all time. Like they were amazingly well done games, especially at the time, and even today, because they were still fun to play like all the way through, right? And and I do feel like my game is missing some key elements of a Mega Man game, so it's we can get into that more next time, but my game for me has the same feel that something is missing that Mega Man 6 had for me. And I'm not totally sure what it is. I think part of it is like the Mega Man games, the worlds feel a little more alive than in my game. I think part of that is because they have like animated backgrounds. I never found an easy way to do that, so I didn't put it in. And just probably some other
My
things. Like I would like your input on this. Maybe give it
my
some
my
thought.
two
But
cents, the vertical weapon, the horizontal, what it felt like, and some of this, my two cents is that the way the Mega Man games to me felt was if you hit a certain point, um, if you hit a certain point, the game was easy.
mm,
Kind of because it's it's sequence, and then like that's where it gets funny into sequence breaking, right? Like Metroidvania sequence breaking, you kind of break the world, and in Mega Man, it's kind of like either you get on the right path, and then you have the right set of weapons to be able to do anything. Some of that is me just not knowing and like not necessarily being an intuitive thing. And this is where we can give a lot of credit to say, um, we can give a lot of credit to say Super Metroid. As an example, one of the things they do quite well. Does it just take? It's boring. One of the things they do quite well is the green versus yellow versus whatever. They kind of like let you know. They give you hints as to what you want to be doing.
mm-hmm.
Um, and then like I didn't feel that in this, and there wasn't like without trial and error. But that gets interesting because I don't know how much of that in the original Mega Man's is there, or is just I played them forever and figured it out. Or there was a Nintendo Power. Um, the vertical one for sure felt like it. Beyond that, though, I kind of disagree with your like missing something. This felt more in spirit with Mega Man to me than like six, and six is an interesting one where it's kind of mean. I think one thing that happened with Mega Man that we kind of talked is later games got really slow on the Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
And so you and I had much different experiences because um, you and I had much different experiences because I played it on a Switch, and the Switch just like used a faster processor basically. And by doing that, um, you basically get rid of a lot of the issues that Mega Man had.
You think
Like,
so? You think the
yeah,
emulator was different on the Switch?
I I'm fairly certain because I do know that there was like slowdown and stuff people complained about. And when I played, like I think I looked at like an emulator, and like the game plays slower. Like the Switch actually does run fast because that's the thing. There were actually bugs that they fixed that they did do some fixes for.
Hmm.
Really? Hmm. All right. There were bugs they did do some fixes for. Um, on like the Switch, like you can actually change the code, and there are some really fun behind the code videos on Mega Man that talk exactly that. Like, here's why there's that slowdown. So if we fix that, here's what happens.
Yeah, I watched some of those. Very,
Yeah,
very
those were
cool
really cool.
videos. Yeah.
So I mean, again, your game played really smooth and crisp, like much more so than say 4 through 6. 4 through 6, we both kind of agree got bloated, and so really,
I disagree.
oh my god. Okay, never mind. Your game is worse than 4 through 6. Shouldn't have
No,
shipped on Nintendo.
no, I was just gonna say 5 is the best playing Mega Man on the Nintendo. That's the one where Capcom fixed the engine issues and it played beautifully. Even the screen transitions
But
were
oh
much
no,
faster.
sorry. The two combinations. I was saying, so the sorry, those are two separate things. So like 4 and 6 had like 3, 4, and 6. I guess all had kind of just like hardware issues, like how well they played constraints.
Sure.
And really that is them being like, let's use this not outdated, but let's use this old engine. Right? They built an engine, not a game.
Hmm. It works if you're making 6 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. If you know you're making
All right.
6. Okay, but they built this engine and they were just like running into the hardware limitations. But what we kind of agreed on, kind of 4 on, is they kept, to make each Mega Man a new game. Their strategy was, let's add new features.
Hmm.
Let's add beats. Let's add, the suits. And like the suits in 6 are kind of cool, but then they also kind of defeat like the premise of Mega Man, right? The whole premise of Mega
Yeah.
Man being this like, okay, you beat these bosses, you get their powers, and you do this. It's like, I got this suit. It's like I got a suit that lets me fly, and I got a suit that lets me punch things really hard. Literally in this game, I'm gonna either be in the suit that flies to get to high stuff, or I'm gonna be a suit that punches things hard to break through stuff. And that also even like replace bombs and stuff. So
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
kind of like,
and sorry, I was just gonna say I know we talked about this like while we were playing them, so we're kind of rewinding our channel or our thing we're doing here a little bit.
yeah, we're not doing a very good
But
job with
but
not repeating ourselves
but
like
but
great
like
developers.
um, so 6 like those suits. I feel like I would have thought they were really cool had I played the game as a kid. But as an adult, especially going through them for this, like I didn't like them, and see I didn't like 6, but
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Is like this felt the the vertical weapon is the only thing I think was really lacking because it made like that was the thing is playing through all 4 levels. It's like, well, if you know how to kill things really well, great. But at no point did I feel, oh, okay, this stage was like the bosses for sure. The boss is like, oh, this boss was really hard the first time, but now that I've got this weapon, it's really easy. That's in the spirit of Mega Man. But another thing that kind of happens in Mega Man is, oh, the first time through this one, these animals are really hard. These enemies are really hard. You now, admittedly, Mega Man 2 just breaks everything, in that when you go through Mega Man 2, um, you just get the Ninja Blade and you're set.
mhm.
But that being said, you know, in yours, with a couple of places, like I said, the horizontal, namely the vertical ones, and a couple of the other ones, like didn't seem easy. The Jupiter one being your heavy, um, because it's both a combination of hard, but then also like a funny dynamic. It kind of, I think, got a little too cute. As weird as that sounds, oh,
Okay.
God, I'm a loser. But what I'm really stressing. I don't remember how many people heard the anecdote at the beginning. I really, really, really want to stress that these like at this point it is nitpicking something I like. It is very similar to like the grappling beam in Super Metroid, where I'm like, I really like this, but this one thing I didn't like but it's really hard to say that one thing I didn't like can even come close to saying, as a whole, the game wasn't amazing.
Well, and like I really appreciate it. I'm really glad you like the game, or at least say on stream that you do. But you can criticize it, because I expected you to, and I expect us to kind of like, because I think having gone through this and trying to make my own Mega Man game, it, like I said, taking a closer look at the Mega Man games and just kind of like game design in general, like I'm not an expert, right? Like I've never made a Mega Man game. I've never even made a platformer, so it's a good opportunity to kind of talk about what makes a Mega Man game good or not. Like regardless of what this one is, right? Like it just kind of.
No, it was. No, it's not even a question. And I mean, that's where it gets funny, and like where I am trying to actually temper it to, because like you're seeing the excitement of like you could do this with what exists, and the question being like, do you want to do that? Like,
Mhm.
what's next for Landon? You've just made a successful Mega Man game. Like, I don't know, it depends on your ego, but with a few minor tweaks, um, I guess it's something even fun to maybe like throw to some of like the Mega Man streamers and be like, hey, give this a try. Um, would be my sense if you wanted to like go that high.
I would I would be amazed if anyone else ever played this game but you and me.
If okay. Now, in our friendship, Landon is, let's see, it's going to be a queen move. Yeah. What kind of boring move is that? In our friendship, it's been kind of amusing in that like Landon will be like, "What would it take for blah?" And Landon will be like, $1 trillion.
Oh
Like
yeah.
at this point, here's a question: if any of
Right.
you have ever convinced him not to do this, like, what would it take for you to do karaoke?
Karaoke was always the
Wasn't it 50 grand?
something like that. I'd do it for 50 grand, yeah.
Yeah, I think you said 50. Oh wait, has the price gone down?
No.
Is it getting more affordable? 25 grand for karaoke?
Depends, is 50 grand more affordable for you now than it was in college?
I mean, 25 grand remains more affordable no matter what the circumstances.
Oh, good answer. Um,
Um, but so like, even when I'm like, what if this outrageous thing happened? And Landon would be like, I'll give you 2 bits. Okay. Okay, so
250.
250 of the way to
That's
50 grand.
that's not enough.
All right. We're getting there. It's getting close though, man, right?
I'll start a Kickstarter. Make Landon go to karaoke.
Yeah, we should see what that needs to be. But what I was going to note is, if I were to get like a real streamer, like a good one to like just do a playthrough, like what do I get?
Um,
We all want to see Landon do karaoke. I don't have 50 grand to spend on it, unfortunately. There's so many things I could buy
Nobody
with
wants to
50
see me
grand.
do karaoke, especially
That
me.
is false.
There are lots of other bad singers you can watch do karaoke instead.
Name two.
Uh, Joey and Joey 2. Those are probably a couple people who go to karaoke bars.
I don't know. It's funny. I don't know, but like I wouldn't mess with Landon. Like I think. Sorry if I keep selling out secrets of the Landon. But like you were doing rock climbing. I remember you injured yourself, and you were telling me you like were going to like personal therapy or physical therapy, not personal therapy, physical therapy, and they were like, "Good God, your wrist strength is ridiculous from all the rock climbing."
Yeah, that was. I haven't been rock climbing for way too long. Oh, and a beer. Well,
Okay, now let's try something out here. Is the beer worth $50,000?
can I sell it?
Yes, it is a $50,000 beer. You got it
Wow.
now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would sing karaoke for a $50,000 beer. Yeah.
Fair enough. But you have to drink it, and it's worth nothing when it's done.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I would still do that. If you found a and bought a $50,000 beer for me, I would sing karaoke and then drink it.
Lame. But yeah, what was your interest in like? So first off, like if like someone cool, like if a streamer did give it a try, this is a
Hmm.
20-minute game, right? Like I mean, I think a good Mega Man streamer with 2 runs through, with the exclusion of like this, the final screen has to be fixed. Like that's the cool part. But that's what makes it really cool to me, right? Is this is a speed runnable game out of the box. If this last screen gets the last few bugs fixed,
Sure. Yeah.
this is perfect.
Yeah, and I don't mind like still doing bug fixes and things like that. Um, and I definitely need to fix the timing on these mid bosses, which I think they may all have the same bug because they just persist in the world. They're not spawned.
That was the question. Okay, so you actually answered the question I had. That's really cool. So I mean, then basically you just have to do something like the boss when the door like the boss's existing time minus when the door is activated. And then there is one other bug we didn't talk about that was kind of cool that I hit that you were aware of, which is it is possible to double KO a boss, a la Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
However, you don't. Now, I'll tell you this. I do know this from Mega Man functionality. And the decision the Mega Man developers made was that if you did that, the boss died. Like tie goes to Mega Man.
Okay.
But you did something kind of similarly hilarious, which is tie doesn't go to Mega Man, but you still get the powers of the boss.
That's just kind of how it worked out. Like, um, yes, you would still need to beat him. Yeah, I don't. I
Oh,
could. I could change things like that. Like if there were strong opinions about it, because that, like I said, that just is one of those things that came out just because that's the way it came out. It's not. It wasn't like
but the reason I was
intentional.
bringing that up as an example is that if you were looking for time to boss, it would have to be like time the boss has persisted minus when Mega Man opened the door the last time Mega Man opened that door, right? Because there is a scenario where although maybe that's the right
Well,
timing. Maybe the first time Mega Man opens the door is what the timer should be counted as.
well, maybe. The bug here for like this mid boss is so these guys don't report time fighting them unless they're in their fight state. Um, and this guy is for some reason still being triggered as if you're in the room with him if you hit that checkpoint just past his room. So if you die and come back, he will spawn and try fighting you, but he's off screen, and then he'll just stay there the rest of the level. And I thought I fixed that. Maybe I didn't get it uploaded. I'll have to double check. But it would also be easy enough just to persist these guys being dead the same way I do the main bosses and just not let them like do anything at
Although
all.
there remains coolness in the bosses and like the persistent world is where my brain keeps going, and and like that's the other apologies. Like if you have any more interest in ever doing anything, I mean, clearly you've got lots of idea people that, and I'm well aware of. Like, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if you did this? It's like yes, it would be cool. That'd be very cool. It's like, wouldn't it be really cool if you did basketball stats for like college and did this and this and this? I'm like, that sounds. I want that. Like, you should build it. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. But like, okay, persistent boss. You could have a boss in a room that was like hitting through walls, right? Like that, like every 20 seconds, like attacked a wall. So you could have a boss that remember Mega Man can shoot through walls.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a boss that can't shoot, that can just hit, that punches, that's punching through a wall. And if you get to the boss level soon enough, you can shoot the boss just through the wall, a la Mega Man, and beat him easy. But if it takes you too long, the boss hits you. There is so much cool you can do with persistence, I think, if that is a goal. And that might
Yeah.
actually be, I mean, we actually briefly did that, like I mentioned, early on in this channel's days, back in the day when we had an identity land and before everything
Yes.
changed, before we sold out for the sweet, sweet Mega
Back
Man money.
before the Fire Nation attacked.
Nice. By the way, funny note, I was thinking about the way you set it up with a 4 of possibly doing like an element, like a fifth element kind of thing, like Earth Wire, because you've got the 4 up, down, left, right.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking you might want to do like that would be a fun montage you could do, right? Earth, wind, fire, air.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
That would.
easy.
Yeah. Mega
Let's
Man.
let's let's start it over. Let's start
All right.
again.
All right.
Well, you could actually even do you could do an avatar skin of your Mega Man game because like
I could-
avatar's got the
if
little
somebody
arrow on the thing. You
if
just
somebody
change the
wants to
color.
draw a whole bunch of avatar sprites.
You are clearly experienced in Microsoft Paint, so what if you
Well, I don't
what
mean to
if you
brag, but
just yeah, what if you what if you just open them sweet sprites up in I'll give like 5 more minutes by the way, but I figure I'll actually end with Mega Man on the screen. But yeah, you just put them sweet sprites uh in Mega Man, and you just like put them in paint and change the color scheme.
so
Done.
make Mega Man bald.
Yeah.
Gee.
I'll see if I can do a double KO in like the time that we're talking, and then that can be the game. I'm gonna try and do a double KO, and then we can end on that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
sounds good.
I am really curious how much like more develop like if you want to do like incremental changes to this game, like if that's still in your purview, if it's just bug fix, let's move on to something else. I am very curious to see what Landon does next.
I'll have to think about it.
I am
Like,
actually proud you did this because for years you and I have had like the discussion like, are you working on any games? You're like, maybe. So it was actually really cool for you to just like sit down and do one, which is really cool.
well, that was one of the most fun things about this project is I do always have, or at least pretend to have, some kind of side project going on, and a lot of it is me just making engines, not games, and trying to like come up with the perfect class hierarchy and how can this be expandable
If
forever,
Zortax can beat you up for your lunch money, it is going to happen. So I'll be curious to see that now.
he's
Anyway,
not
keep going.
gonna take my lunch money. But um,
You always have
yeah,
like
yeah,
side
oh yeah.
projects.
So
You'll
so
start with
so
engines or an idea. Yeah, definitely.
and then like you always think, oh, I should come up with a project that I could like sell somewhere, put on Steam or the Google Play Marketplace, and things like that. And like, oh, what do people want to play? So it
Harkening
was
back to El
thank you,
Mariachi,
Mitty
five
Mitty.
dollar $5 on Rickster.
um, but like so it was fun to make a project that was just for the sake of a project, right? It was just for this stream. It was just for us to play. There was no like bigger possible scope at all, right? It was like
Yeah, there were no stakes because it wasn't a Metroidvania game.
what?
I repeat,
Is
there were no stakes. That was the first part because you're saying it was, you didn't have to worry about too
yeah.
much. I said there were no stakes.
Oh, you're heavy on the Vania part there, aren't you? This is a
It
vampire joke,
it
isn't
is
it?
half it is half of the stupid word.
uh, anyway, ignoring him.
You mean acknowledging the amazingness of that?
Acknowledging the amazingness. Um, man, where'd the boulder go?
Yeah.
So
Right.
originally, those things you just jumped across were only one tile wide, and then I was like, that's a little too mean. I'll put these little things that you can fall on, but then they'll also slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I
Also,
noticed that.
this whole level actually used to be night like this, but then I thought it was so cool falling down into like this pyramid, like it kind of deteriorates into this spacey night scene. I thought that was so cool. I decided to make the upstairs daytime. Um, anyway, yeah, it was really really fun just having a project I could work on with a start and an end, and just no big plans, no ambition, no ambition. I hate ambition. I just want to
Yeah,
just
we all do.
yeah, I just who wants to. But yeah, so this was really a lot of fun for me, and it was nice to have something different to do in the evenings. That makes sense.
Yep. And I'm just trying to see. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try and double KO Cleopatra Man.
Man, Cleopatra Man used to be such a tough boss. Like that lightning bolt used to go halfway across the screen. She used to do
What is
so
the
much
matter with
damage.
you?
I don't know. I was like playing it. I was like, man, what is the matter with me? Even the venom used to go further. Can you
I
tell that
forget.
she's that? Can you tell that she's whipping a snake
Oh,
when she throws
I
the
could have
venom?
done it if I'd have been a little more clever.
Oh, that's close.
Yeah. It's going to be hard without an E-Tank. I'm not very good without. What's the pattern, by the way? What's the is there a hackable pattern I should know for Cleopatra Man?
No, that's why she's so hard. She's totally random.
Why?
I don't
Who?
know. I don't know
Why?
why. Just the mysteries of the
Oh, okay,
pyramids.
okay. Let's end with that as kind of a topic of discussion then. So bosses, are there patterns, whatever, behaviors? I mean, that we talked like the some of the behind the coding
Yeah.
things.
Um. Yeah. So bosses also took a lot of time, just because I wanted to make them fun and challenging without being too challenging, and that's really not easy. So hats off to the developers who can make fun Mega Man boss fights or any boss fight. So when the first boss I made was Sharp Man, and I was trying to think of like how the bosses would.
Oh, come on! I'm too good for my own
Ah, that's
good.
close.
Oh, well, whatever.
And so like I set it up initially so whenever a boss spawns, they get basically a pointer to Mega Man, and then they can track your movements. Because a lot of Mega Man bosses, when you shoot, they'll jump, or if you jump, they'll jump, or something like that. And so I was like, oh, I should like kind of do things like that. And so Sharp Man will jump when you shoot.
Okay.
And then I made Cleopatra Man, which is a totally random, goes crazy all over the place. And then I made Crush Man, which is also totally random and just jumping and crazy, and he was out of control for a long time. And then then I was like, man, I forgot that like some of them actually react to what the player is doing. So then I made Jupiter Man, which also
You actually like
boringly just.
confused me with Cleopatra because I was actually experimenting and trying to like see if like Cleopatra Man like that explains it. Like it's like I don't know if it's quite 50-50, but the jump forward, jump back kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Like I was thinking that Cleopatra like responded to you like meeting in the middle of the room. So I was like I would die sometimes trying. Okay, they do respond. Very nice. Um, yeah, this like if you were looking to farm, this would be the place to do it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or you could do that. That works too.
That's an option.
Yep. But yeah, so I was like thinking like, oh, okay, Cleopatra Man, like, cause some of the you're right, like some of the Mega Man bosses would do stuff like that. Like when you went forward, they would go back, so like you could be guaranteed to win, like as long as you like approach them, because they would do
Right.
this. Or like Mega Man 2 as an example, one of the most popular first bosses is Air is Flash Man, and he's like apparently really simple because you can literally just do like shoot jump shoot jump shoot jump shoot jump and like his natural 10 it's like a room with stuff to go on but like just his normal running pattern will just like run into those, so I was
Hmm.
really curious if your bosses had any of that, but I guess not.
Yeah, not really. And originally like they were all just like in these square rooms too, which made Sharp Man super easy. Because you'll notice Sharp Man's easier when you fight him in Dr. Wily's level than he is in his home level because you have the entire floor. Um, but I made it a little smaller in his own level just to make it a little more interesting. Because the different Mega Man games are different that way too. Like some of the Mega Man games, like 3 especially, has like different, like 2 and 3 at least, they have different like arenas that you fight the bosses in, different shapes. And then some of the later ones, they're all just squares. I don't remember which ones, but
Question to you, so you know when you end it says screen select or game over.
hmm.
I'm wondering if you can add like the scoreboard. If you hit game over, if it shows you your scoreboard.
I could add that. I was wondering like where else I should show this stats screen. Um, I mean, you could. Then I'd almost have to put a little indicator in here if you actually beat the game or not. Otherwise, you could just play for 2 seconds and then
No,
die
you
and
wouldn't,
then
because
show like.
you wouldn't have a time on any of the other bosses. I mean, you could.
Oh, that's
Could you
true.
make it so
They
that
would all
they
be
don't
zero.
either
Yeah.
they don't show up or be zero or
Their times would all be zero. Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
should be what null? If it's null originally, it'd be like dash dash dash. Oh, why did I go
It,
for greed there? My hubris was my own undoing.
when you fall into a pit, it's actually just spikes down there. Speaking of a persistent
Oh,
world.
I discovered. Okay, so I actually discovered this. So let's see if I can demo. Okay, I got 6 lives, plenty.
Yeah, you can.
So here's what's fun. So let's watch this. I'm going to jump underneath this and miss, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I press right, it takes longer to die. And I noticed a few places where that happened, where you would fall and you would think you were about to die, and if you were holding right, it actually took longer. And that makes
You're
sense with
holding
the spike
right.
thing,
Yeah, the spikes
because it
could be further
takes
down,
you
or
takes you in theory a longer fall potentially. Like also like if these things on the bottom, like if if the wall persists, maybe I don't know. But I did know.
I was actually wondering. I didn't try it, but like if you miss a jump and you start to fall, does Rush teleport in faster than you fall? Like maybe you can get him to save you from the spikes down in the pit.
Okay, wait. Okay, how many lives? I got 4. I'm gonna waste at least another 2 on it because that one was like mid-level.
Actually that. Well, I don't know. I'm actually not sure what would happen.
Okay, let's see if I do it from a lower. Because is there a consistency to how low the spikes are?
No, it's just kind of whatever I put in there.
Oh, Rush, you fool! You were too helpful. I think it did that. Did I jump off and just not have enough? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna see if I can find a lower place to jump from.
Yeah, now I'm wondering if he will even.
Because he'll land on spikes. I've seen that happen. I've
Yeah,
done that.
he should. I think. Yeah, he definitely will. Because that's actually an easier way to get
You're
that
like, he
free
will
life.
now. Refresh your window.
Yeah,
I didn't
try
push a
now.
code chain. Well, we kind of talked that too, like the crazy world of Nintendo versus nowadays of like, oh, I'm just gonna patch it. Like, you
Yeah,
added this thing.
I was actually thinking that was kind of cool when I was making some of these updates. That's one thing cool about the web version is, yeah, I can just make updates whenever I want, and people have to
Okay,
deal with it.
let's see. I think you hit rush. That felt a little longer. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Oops,
Or you.
I forgot what I was
So
doing.
so you can't even let me be the better dyer than you now, can you?
Now I need to go try for
You're like you're
myself.
like you're like you're like that's enough of that. I mean, there should be no better praise to your game than like after we beat. I'm like, yeah, let's mess around with it a little longer. So, but for real, I'm gonna try and okay. Let's do one more challenge. Not even a challenge. I just want to show it on. I want to show the bug on air of let's do a double KO against Jupiter Man.
Against Jupiter Man,
Whoever
alright.
gets it first, or if I just die, I've got 3 lives left. So at the end of my 3 lives, I'm going to tap out. Then I'll watch you at the end of however many lives you have, barring spawning infinite lives.
Yeah, I can't do that. I think you just die. I'm not sure where Rush is going down here. Because otherwise it would use the Rush energy.
Oh, that's right. You have the thing where we're
Yeah,
nerds. We're nerds potentially, by the way.
yeah, it uses his energy when you jump off of him, like in the game.
Gotcha. Oh, I didn't realize that was the thing, but that does make sense actually.
So we're trying to do a double.
Double KO against Jupiter.
Whoops, let's slide.
First one to do it wins $1 billion.
Wow, that's a lot. I did fix the ladders too, so you can just jump off of them.
I did. You actually did that early on. I noticed that.
Okay. Um.
I guess I could have given you credit for it, but I didn't. Ah, well.
Oh, that's alright. And it's kind of funny because like I feel like I must have like played that way as a kid too, because I think I've just always pushed a direction and jumped off. Because when you're holding up or down, you can't jump off.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
I did test that. Jupiter-sized health.
Ah, too good. I need to switch to the other. Well, actually, that's a boring way to show it. See? So I killed myself in Jupiter Man stage after I won.
Oh.
Watch this. Oh, Jupiter Man. Oh, no.
No, you can.
Oh man.
Oh, it counted as.
How far
uh,
back can you go? Are you able to go back out that window? Like, can I go to the left from here?
oh, you mean out this boss
To the
door?
left door. Can you go back? Ah, boy.
Shouldn't be able to.
Oh,
For a
well.
while, you could trigger this door again, and very strange things would happen because I just did the Mega Man thing. Boss doors always go to the right, because there's some kind of weird code in there to make that work. And so
You
you'd like hit
added
it.
you added another Metroid homage because Metroid. Remember, Metroid has that bug on the green doors. There's a glitch where you can trigger them with the bomb because of a collision thing.
Oh right, yeah.
This game is just full of Metroid homages, man.
You know, you joke, but like there were a few things where like man, man, I should be making a Metroid game. Like just some of the secrets, because that was one of my complaints about Mega Man 5, maybe was it, where they did put in like hidden walls and secrets and
The weird ladders, like the two exits, like you'd get a thing and yeah, respawn.
well, even just like one of them had like, oh man, I'm too close to him. The
You're gonna die.
the walls that you could like, the hidden walls you could break, which is very Metroid like, or like invisible. Whoops. Walls that are fake walls. I'm saying way too close to him. And that never felt like a Mega Man thing to me, right? Like that's very Metroid thing. So sometimes it felt like,
You're like stop ripping off Metroid. You're like
yeah,
it's not Megavanias or Metroid Megas. Okay, you're gonna do it.
boom.
But here's the thing, right? He's gonna be
But
gone when you go in there.
I don't have his weapon though. It must not have. So there are timers involved, like
You okay? So what it is it's a double KO, but you have to kill them first, and they kill you next. And what I found here's what I'm really curious about now. I'm not gonna try it tonight. Wouldn't take too long, but I'm not gonna because I'm already past. I'm gonna give myself 2 more minutes, and 11:30 is my cutoff time. But what I was gonna say is, so what happened with me when I did it is I killed Cleopatra Man.
oops. Mhm.
Cleopatra Man killed me. So like I made a shot at Cleopatra Man that hit. Cleopatra Man made a venom shot at me that hit too. I died. I was out of lives. I started over. I was like, bummer. I went into Cleopatra Man's stage like, oh, I have Cleopatra Man's weapon. What the heck?
Interesting.
If I make it to the boss after doing that, is he still there? Or is it going to do what just happened with me where I enter the room and the boss is gone and I just win?
I don't know.
Because here's the thing. Okay, after regardless of double KO, if you beat him,
I don't think I can take the right amount of damage to. Whoops. Well.
okay, hit K a bunch. Okay, yeah, if there's time. Okay,
Now what will happen?
so
I did that way too. Oh
so
no! I hit it too many times. Now I'm just
okay,
dead.
no. Go to stage select. Go to stage select.
He's gone. He's
Oh,
dead.
okay, that's so. I did something on mine where I was able to where I died to Cleopatra. Now you can re-enter, right? You're able to re-enter Jupiter Man stage here,
Yeah, you can replay the levels.
which is that's Mega Man.
Yeah, but he'll be gone.
Yeah, so that was my question for mine. Is I think Cleopatra Man was still there on the double KO, although maybe I'm mistaken. Because I
Could
think to
be.
get
There
their
there could
weapon they
be there
or I
could be
could
some
have just
strange.
or
Sorry.
I could have just gone back in and not noticed the missing thing, thinking, "Oh, I have to do it again," and Cleopatra Man's gone. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, we'll send it to the QA team.
Yeah. Have them take a
They'll
look.
test it. What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm just messing around.
All right. Okay, in your last 10 seconds, yeah. Yeah, what do you want to do 2 weeks from now? So next week I'm off. I'm still down.
Um.
I'm down to do whatever. Like,
Yeah. I guess if we wanted to
if you're
talk a little bit more about Mega Man design and kind of some of the things that came up making this, I think that might be interesting if you want to kind of keep talking about game design itself and Mega Man. Um, and that would kind of double as the kind of like the dev talk for this. Like I said, like this isn't something I'm looking to like show like code on, because it's not how I would recommend making a game, right? Like this was just like whatever
Is
worked at
it
the moment, and
is
I
it
changed.
sorry to put a request that's already like a cheat. Is it possible like proof of concept a level or something?
Um, sorry, what do you mean? Like live on stream, make a level?
Yeah, like a silly one. Like because Zortanks and me, as you see, have a bunch of like silliness.
Hmm.
So here's an example of like a level we could experiment with if you're down. Like again, if it's not interesting, I think it'd be funny to have a 2-room scenario where in one room you just have an infinite spawning number of enemies or something, and in the other room you have a boss that is doing something, and the two tie to each other, right? Like every time you kill an enemy, the boss gets weaker or stronger, something like that.
Hmm.
Or every time you don't kill an enemy, the boss does something, or the boss is maybe just moving to the left or something, right? Like I think that's not a hard proof of concept and kind of funny. But I also understand like, it's boring. Doesn't sound like a fun thing to do.
No, we probably could. Um, yeah, like I said, this isn't the best. Like it's I don't know. We could do something like that.
Well, if you're interested, and we got two weeks to decide.
Yeah. I
Well, yeah,
think I just drew this guy's UFO. Like I don't think I took that from anything. I don't remember.
really, that looks. That looked like it was out of Mega Man.
Thanks. Yeah, there's a few guys I just drew entirely. Like I think this guy I drew.
I was going to ask, is Dr. Wily the final ship? Is that a sprite or did you draw?
That was his sprite that I added those spikes to.
Okay, okay, perfect. Because I was like, that looks close, and then I was like, and it also looks kind of like Lannon, so it's a hybrid. It's like Superboy in the comics, where he's part Lex Luthor, part Superman. Sorry for the
Right.
spoilers on Superboy in the comics.
Well, so like even these yellow guys here, like we saw these guys in the game, but if you remember, I thought I kind of liked them and they were like friendly, so that's why I gave these guys little horns. so they so they're called devil pillars. That's what they called in my game. That way they're mean. That way you know they're bad guys.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll give you the last word. Then I'm gonna hang up, and I'll be sending you notes and stuff. I'm debating if I'm gonna try and like, yeah, if the scoreboard gets that glitch fixed, I think this is like, hey, someone else try it out, even if you disagree.
That would be amazing if somebody else took an interest in it and would like to try it. I would, of course, always appreciate feedback just because it was an interesting project. And I look forward to talking more game design with you because I think that's something we both have an interest in. But
Well,
yeah,
I have I have the boring interest of being like, okay, what if you did a bunch like this is a culmination of years. Or for years, I'm like, hey, have you thought about doing this with a game? Have you thought about doing this with a game? They're like, I don't know, haven't really done anything. You're like, okay, I built this entire game on my own. Are you happy? And I'm like, elated. I am very happy. Now 100 more requests.
awesome. Yeah, and again, I'm glad you enjoyed it enough to want to do this race. Um, nice try, okay, but you know. No, I'm joking. This was a lot of fun, and I'm
I
thrilled that like
crushed you, dude. 2 deaths to 29.
it's,
You're not even in my ballpark.
uh,
Nine. I took over 900 damage. 180. Higher number is better.
oh, okay.
It's like
Um,
golf, right? High score
yeah,
wins.
exactly. Um, but yeah, I look forward to kind of whatever it is we decide to do next. Probably sounds like one or two more about this, and then maybe we'll start thinking about what we will move on to. Um, and yeah, for the record, I don't plan on doing any more secret projects. Like if we play Castlevania next, I'm not gonna secretly make a Castlevania game.
You could always just like
this was a
start.
lot
I
of
mean,
work.
at this point, like you can always open source or whatever or see. I think it'd be fun to start. I think Square Deanna, with what you've already shown, is in a spot where that would be kind of interesting. I've in my brain have had a lot of thoughts on that, and I think that would be kind of fun, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I do plan on keep like learning and doing things with the Godot game engine. Like I think that one's really fun to work with.
How hard is
Um,
Square D to port?
to
Godot.
um the Godot or the Square Deanna we were playing last week,
Mm-hmm.
or took that was in Godot, and that took me 20 minutes.
Yes.
That was my decoy project, just to make sure it ran in your browser too. But yeah, it was super super simple, and there's no link to it on here. That might be my next project, is fixing my
Well,
website.
if you recall, like way back, like one idea I had for Squarediana that I thought was amusing would be like moving things, like moving targets to
Mhm.
go along with. And then, I mean, this all like actually, ironically, like Super Metroid had that, and I wasn't happy because the whip was so bad. Remember, like Super Metroid, you can grab like these things that go up. So Super Metroid had a lot of the ideas I had, but just didn't implement it right. So, all right, I have stayed past my time. I will talk to you live in 2 weeks and certainly before then. And next 2 weeks from now, the plan is more Mega Man, maybe even a level build.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think that sounds fun. And no, nitty mitty, I'm not already working on Metroid Secret, although
Or
that
are
is a
you
cool
telling us?
title. That is a cool. I kind of like that.
Or are you telling us you're not working on Metroid Secret? Last note I'll give is, as a recollection, the week before this debuted, Lannon said in front of everybody, "No update on the secret project." Everybody went home when we were like playing Metroid at like 1 a.m. And then he's like, "Next week, let's do the secret project." So we're gonna come back in 2 weeks, and there's gonna be Super Metroid Secret, Super Secret Metroid. That's what it's got to be. Super
Wouldn't,
Secret Metroid if you're
wouldn't that
doing it
be
in
something?
secret. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I totally
that's
believe you're not working on it right now as we speak.
no. Remember, I one of the most fun things about this was telling everybody I had a secret project. I don't think it'd be nearly as much fun as I didn't if I didn't tell anybody. So I don't
But
have.
you already told us, so now the
I,
next time it's fun to not tell us and then surprise me.
well,
This wrestling, dude. You
don't
never.
don't hold your breath.
Okay.
But anyway,
All right. I'll see you in 2 weeks, sir.
sounds good. And thanks everyone for hanging out.
Yep.
Talk to you later.